You know what time it is.
I do. I do know what time it is. But, oh wait, no, where's my watch? Wait, Prophet, what time
Oh,
is it?
what time is it? Oh, it's time for another episode of Off the Top Rope.
Let's go. The greatest wrestling podcast on the planet.
Yep. You heard it here first. You heard it here first, folks.
It's because you get spoilers here. We talk, but we're always right. Always. Well, and not even just in the little promotions that we talk about. Everywhere. It's getting a little crazy.
Get a little crazy here. Even to the point of the G1, man. Like, even predicted that one. Go back to the what was it? The second episode when we first started talking about it.
Yep. We said you know what? That's a very good segue. So we're actually just gonna get right into it. Yeah, G1 ended last night at the time of recording. I was up. I'm currently dying. My internet was out and I rushed through a bunch of shows. So my mind is mush, but we're going to get into it. We're not going to be talking about the entire G1. We're going to be talking about the semifinals, the two semifinals, and we'll talk about the finals because it's a very exciting time in New Japan. A lot is going on. We will start with the very first semifinal, which was Yota Tsuji versus David Finlay. Just to give a little recap about what the G1 is, it's a month-long tournament in New Japan where the winner usually gets a shot at the Tokyo Dome for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. We're going to talk about that usually in a minute, though. To start, again, is Yota Tsuji versus David Finlay in the first semifinal match of the night. To get here, Tsuji actually had to beat Takeshita, and that match was very good. So if you haven't watched that, if anyone listening just hasn't watched that and just watched the finals, please go back and watch Tsuji and Takeshita. They wrestled twice in this tournament. They are 1-1, so at some point we will get a rubber match, most likely, because it seems like Takeshita wants to come back.
Yeah.
So we'll see that. David Finlay actually didn't have to beat anyone to get here. He had a bye because he was the top of the B block. So he had a bye, so he didn't really have to worry about wrestling. And just to get into them a little bit, David Finlay is a powerhouse. Honestly, probably top 3 strongest in New Japan right now, which is crazy to say because he does not look like it. He looks like me. I'm not gonna hold you, but he is very strong. And Tsuji, very hybrid. He does a lot of curb stomps. He trained in Mexico after he left New Japan for a little bit. Very fantastic guy, and he is trying to be the first wrestler ever to win the G1 and the New Japan Cup, which are the 2 heavyweight tournaments that New Japan does in the same calendar year. No one's done it. He's going to be trying.
Nice.
New Japan Cup is a very similar tournament to like March Madness. Single elimination. You go through it. That's why that tournament is important. Also gets shot at the world title. He didn't get it. I don't like breaking down matches, but I'm going to get into it a little bit. This was a very good match between Tsuji and Finlay. Finlay feels like he really found himself now. I still don't think he's great as a Bullet Club leader, but in the ring, man can go. He has been doing a lot of really good things in this G1. It feels like he's finally put it all together. Main thing from this match is Finlay set up 2 tables outside very early. And a lot of the match was them fighting around the tables to see who was going to be going through it. Tsuji actually tried to curb stomp Finlay through one of the tables while he was on the apron. He missed. Crazy spot. Finlay ended up just powering Tsuji up and powerbombing him straight through the tables, which was close to the end of the match. Finlay ended up throwing him back in the ring. He got into like a full mount and started like striking down at Tsuji. And at this point, it seemed like Tsuji was about to lose this match. It felt like it was over. But Tsuji ended up using a move from his rival, which is Yuya Uemura. We've talked about him a little bit on this podcast before. He's the one who got hurt right before the finals, right before the semifinals and stuff.
Uh-huh.
He ended up using his finishing move to set up Tsuji's finishing move, which is a spear. And Tsuji won that match, so Tsuji is now in the finals.
Nice. Okay.
Like I said, this match was fantastic. If anyone hasn't seen it, definitely go out your way to watch it. This match was so good. The second semifinal was Shingo Takagi versus Zack Sabre Jr.
Oh, wow. That's a bummer.
It was so goddamn good, man. It was so good. Just to give the layout for how we got here, Shingo ended up beating the Great Okan, who also has put it together in this tournament. Great Okan is real good right now. He's figured out his style. He's going to be mat based. He's going to be a technical beast when he really sits down and figures himself out in like the next year or two.
Nice.
And Zach, he had the most points in A block, so he got a bye. So he didn't have to wrestle to get to this point. We've talked about Zach and Shingo before, so I'm not going to get into them a little bit. And I'm not going to break down this match at all because it's impossible to break down a match with Zack Sabre Jr. because you don't know how it's going to end. You don't know what he's going to do. Shingo is also one of the best wrestlers in the world. You don't know how it's going to break down. But the match ends with Zack hitting a Zack driver, which is the Michinoku driver that handed down from Taka, by the way. Shingo kicked out of that at 2, but Zack grabbed his leg that he's been working on throughout this entire match and had him in like an ankle lock knee bar combination. Shingo tapped out, and Shingo never taps.
Oh, shit.
So the finals was Tsuji versus Zack. You have any thoughts on this at all before we get into it? Because this finals match, bro.
Man, I got to go back and watch all, specifically the semifinals, because they had a lot of good stuff in there. So yeah, I want to go back and like watch it all.
That's the nice part about this. It's 2 shows. You don't have to put in the time investment to watch the entire G1. I do suggest if people are fans, go back and try to watch as much G1 as you can. Because this year, I feel like this was like a return to form. This was easily the best G1 since like 2019. And people hold 2019 in such a high regard because that's when Moxley joined the G1. That was his first tournament. Or was it? No, it was 20. Yeah, that was the one. Yeah. Fantastic. It was a fantastic tournament. Now we got to get into the G1 finals. A lot of stuff happened between this. A lot of story stuff. We will get into a lot of the story stuff next time we talk about New Japan, which is going to be probably after Capital Collision, whenever that is. I think it's like we got 2 weeks. So like I said, the finals is Yota Tsuji versus Zack Sabre Jr. And before we get into the match, we got to note some things because this is really important. This is the first time that New Japan has put 2 first-timers up against each other in the G1 since 2012.
Wow.
It's been 12 years since they've done this. And the last time it was Okada versus Carl Anderson in 2012.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. That should tell you where New Japan has been before. They've kind of cycled the same people over the last 12 years. No matter what, in a G1 final, you would have an Okada, a Tanahashi, or a Naito for 12 years. Right. You have some go ahead.
Brakes fell off, man. So
literally with Naito's case, bro.
Yeah.
And another fun fact: both wrestlers are undefeated in tournament finals. Zack has won the New Japan Cup twice. He won the New Japan World TV title tournament, and he won the Battle of Los Angeles for PWG. Tsuji only won the New Japan Cup, so it's not as impressive, but, right. But undefeated. So there's an undefeated streak in finals that's going to be broken here. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I said okay. Yeah.
And last thing before we get into the match, if you don't watch New Japan has the best English commentators on the planet. Chris Charlton and Walker Stewart are really good at setting up the scene for matches, especially big matches, while wrestlers are walking in. So just shout out to them because they're really good and they're really underrated. I know a lot of people that watch New Japan, they just watch it in Japanese commentary, which, you know, to each his own, but you're missing out on a lot of really good commentary with Chris Charlton and Walker Stewart if you're not watching in English.
Yeah.
All right. To start, this crowd was insanely hot, bro. Like this, it sounded like a pre-pandemic crowd, and they were just up on their feet. They were chanting for Zack and Tsuji. This is the thing that we wanted. We even said it on the podcast. You alluded to it. We said that if Zack didn't win, Tsuji should be the one to win, and we got them both in the finals.
Yeah. Yep.
And as much praise I get to New Japan is like WWE. They usually do not listen to their fans at all. So the fact that we got this is very impressive. It was a really good 30-minute match. It actually started off kind of slow. Tsuji was kind of doing a little bit of grappling, trying to grapple with Zack. Wasn't going to work. You can't grapple with Zack. He's literally the best technical wrestler on the planet. You can't do it. This was basically your typical New Japan main event. They kind of started off slow. They really built into it and they started moving. This was, I can see people calling this one the best match of the tournament because it was a damn good match. I have to read this because this is how it ended, and it's going to sound crazy. But the match ended with Zack countering the Gene Blaster, which is Tsuji's spear, and he put him into a triangle with his left arm. Zack's been working on that left arm basically this entire match. Tsuji ends up getting out, but Zack is able to reapply it again. But he reapplies it in a way to where he's using his leg for the triangle, and then he captures his right arm and pulls his right arm back. So both of his arms are now trapped behind him, Tsuji's.
Oh, shit. It's
not over. So now Zack is positioned in a way to where his head is by Tsuji's legs. So so Zack grabs Tsuji's legs, puts him in like a figure four with his arms, and then pushes forward, and then uses his legs to trap both arms and his arms to push forward. So Tsuji is actually bent like a goddamn pretzel.
Oh, shit.
Tsuji's arms are behind him. His legs are back. Like his legs and his arms are touching, and it doesn't look natural. And Tsuji, he can't tap out because he has both of his arms trapped. So Tsuji had to verbally quit.
Wow.
And Zack Sabre Jr., with that, has won the G1 and is the second foreigner to win the G1 and the fourth foreigner to win New Japan's biggest heavyweight tournament.
That's awesome.
The only other person to win the G1 was Kenny Omega.
Yep.
And the other two foreigners who won this tournament before it was the G1 were Andre the Giant and Hulk Hogan. That bitch.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah, asshole. So Zack wins the G1. Everyone's very happy. You can see it on Twitter. People are freaking out. People are very excited that he won. It literally happened like 6 hours ago at the time we were recording. So per New Japan, the main eventer always takes the mic and they always talk. That's just how it works, especially for the G1. Zack can speak Japanese. And like I said before, the tradition for the winner of the G1 is they get the main event to Tokyo Dome against the World Heavyweight Champion. That's how it is. This was actually before my time. Apparently Okada set this up, which I didn't know.
Huh.
Yeah. So this started in 2012, where Okada won the G1, and then he took that and he defended at some point he brought in the briefcase. He started defending the briefcase, and the winner of the G1 went to the Tokyo Dome main event. Zack said fuck that shit. He doesn't want to do that. So instead of waiting till January, he wants to wrestle for the world title in October, in 2 months.
Oh shit.
At King of Pro Wrestling. A week before New Japan goes to the UK for the Royal Kingdom 4.
That's wild.
at the time of recording, we don't know if it's going to happen because New Japan people have said this before, or not this specifically, but people have said things to media and things, and New Japan just didn't do it. So it's very possible that this doesn't happen, and we have to wait 4 months to see Zack hopefully win the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. But if they change this up and they let Zack call his shot and just wrestle at King of Pro Wrestling in the same arena that they were in for the G1 final, we don't know where we're going for the Tokyo Dome. This is going to be the first time for sure since I've watched, but the first time since 2012 where if they do this, we don't know what the main event is for the Tokyo Dome. We just know it's going to be the World Heavyweight Champion against someone.
Huh. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is a really big deal. And as of time of recording, we still don't know if New Japan's actually going to do it. I think they should. Because this is the shot in the arm that New Japan really needs right now. Like, I haven't talked about the rest of the show, but a lot of things in this show were built to be different than how they are. Usually, New Japan is very systematic. I've talked about it before, where New Japan will have the same 3 wrestlers in main events for the G1, main events in Tokyo Dome. That's just been a thing. Right now, that's not the case anymore. Like, right now, New Japan has a really big opportunity to really change how they do things, and I think they should do this. The fact that Zack even won over Tsuji to begin with, like, easily, if this was New Japan from last year, the Japanese wrestler would have won. Even if Tsuji wasn't ready to take this, Tsuji would have won. We would have went to Tokyo Dome, and we could have potentially had... The match would have been good, but it probably couldn't have been the caliber it is, because Tsuji right now is not ready for the Tokyo Dome. He will be soon, but he's not right now.
Right. Huh.
But
I think that's part of the changes that Tanahashi, is like just bringing in. He's like, you know what, we got to change stuff. This is stuff I wanted to change. So now that he's in a position to do it, he's just doing it now.
which is still crazy. I've been watching New Japan for a long time now. Obviously not as long as like a lot of other people. So this is very new. New Japan needs this. New Japan really needs this. I hope they let this happen and they let Zack wrestle Naito or whoever the champion is. It's supposed to be Naito. It's only like 2 months at King of Pro Wrestling in October. And let's do something different.
Yeah, I agree. Break the mold.
Yeah.
You're already doing it with the. They already have that show like, was it beginning of next year that has like 3 companies in it?
Yeah, Wrestle Dynasty on the 5th.
Yeah, so you're already breaking the mold with that. Just like in general, just sharing the dome with other companies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Go all the way. Maybe like, say ZSJ wins, right? Have him show up and challenge whoever's the world champion in AEW.
Woo.
Or have him wanna go against Bryan Danielson one more time, so they can, because I think they're 1-1 or 2-1.
Yeah, something like that. Like the matches that they've had recently, they're 1-1.
Yeah. So, ZSJ is full of confidence. He wants that tiebreaker, and then, Bryan Danielson is, being like, you know what, I got one more in me. He does the Vince Carter. I got one more. And they wrestle at that show. I think that would be cool.
It would be great. Like I said, New Japan has a really big opportunity on their hands right now, and they've really needed this. Like, I've been on this podcast before. I criticize people all the time. Like, that's what I am on this podcast. But I've criticized New Japan also, and they've needed to change. I've said that they took too long to do this. They should have been doing this last year. While I am happy they're doing it now, though, don't get me wrong. They should have been prepping for this already. But now that we're here, go all the way. Do something different.
Keep doing it.
And that different means Zach needs to win that World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, 100%. He's the guy.
Mm-hmm. Naito can't make it to a dome again. Like, I said I was going to talk about too much else that was going on in this show or the G1, so I will not. But let me tell you, Naito cannot do another Tokyo Dome main event. He can't.
No, them wheels, they falling off, man. They're falling off quick too.
Mm-hmm.
He needs time off. Is what he needs.
Time off might not help at this point, bro. He is he it looks like he's running ragged. Like he has some spurts there. He had a really good match with Okan. But like I said, Okan's been putting it all together. The reason why Naito wasn't even in the quarterfinals is because Okan beat him. So
Right.
like the world champion didn't even make it to the quarterfinals. Which world champions in New Japan usually don't win the G1. Well, not usually, they never do. I think the last time was like back in the 90s. So like that is a thing. But usually, if there's a playoff stage, the world champion makes it to the playoffs, and then they get beat by somebody, and that person challenges. Naito couldn't even make it to the quarterfinal because it probably was better for him to not wrestle another singles match right now.
Yeah. Like he's running out of gas, man. You can
Mm-hmm.
see it.
And he's set up right now because he's most likely going to be wrestling Great Khan first because there's like a little thing between them. So after Great Khan, because Naito is definitely going to win that, Zach should take it in October. Take it to the UK for the Royal Quest show, Royal Quest 4. And y'all New Japan, just go crazy. Y'all can do this every year. We don't have to wait till the Tokyo Dome to see the G1 winner and the world champion. Put it wherever you want.
Yeah, exactly.
That's really.
Like,
Oh, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say just do it. Like, go in.
Yeah, yeah, they really need to, and I'm happy they are. Right now, New Japan's in such a good place, and this company is way different than they were when they had Matt Riddle and Nick Nemeth as champions of something. I still can't believe that happened. That was this year.
Yeah, apparently Matt Riddle is also a cruiserweight, but we'll talk about that later.
Ugh, ugh. Well, that's all I have for New Japan. That's all I have for G1. We'll talk about New Japan a little bit more probably in a couple weeks after their Capital Collision show. I think it's on the 30th. So we'll do a little breakdown there, but that's really it.
Nice, nice. Sounds like a great show. I gotta go and check it out.
They were two. I would say the last three shows, the quarterfinal show, the semifinal show that happened yesterday, and the finals that happened today are fantastic shows for not only you to just like check out New Japan, but for people who haven't watched New Japan and you want to get a taste of like what not only Japanese wrestling is, but sports based wrestling is. Definitely check it out. It's worth a shot.
Yeah, for sure.
Now we're gonna move on to a little show that's a mainstay on the podcast.
Yeah, some good old TNA Impact.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, yeah, this week's episode of Impact was pretty interesting. It was a good episode. We had a couple of qualifier matches for the Ultimate X qualifier. We had the world title match that happened today, and there was a bunch of segments in between. So, yeah, let's just get into it.
Let's do it.
So, first match on the on Impact was Ultimate X qualifier. Chris Bay versus John Schuyler, the guy part of the tag team called the Good Hands, and Riley Osborne from NXT. He's in the faction called Chase U. This match was I'd probably say like the second best match on the show,
Ooh.
easily. Like just from the start of it, like all these guys gelled well together. I've never seen, I haven't, because I took a little break from watching TNA for a bit, so I haven't seen Good Hands before. I haven't seen John Schuyler before. That guy's actually pretty good. He is actually pretty decent. But he first comes out, he's talking trash to the crowd, to the Tampa crowd, which was on fire this whole show.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Immediately, tells them to shut the hell up, and then starts, just starts heckling the crowd. A little bit after that, Riley Osborne comes out from NXT, and they're all in the ring, and right before the match is about to start, like you know the uh the king of TNA comes out, Kazarian.
Let's go, Big Kaz.
Big Kaz comes out and is just to go on commentary and talk shit the whole time. That's all he's doing. No other thing but to just make his presence known and to talk trash. Um, but yeah, like this whole match was like damn good, man. Like NXT chose this week the best guy that they could possibly choose to do this Ultimate X match. They probably saw that Dante Chin one and realized it fucking sucked, and they sent a better person to do the match. Riley Osborne is really damn good. Like that guy is good. Um, he didn't look out of place. He fit in completely with what Ultimate X is. Just high flying styles, like all styles meshing together. There's like quite a few points when him and Chris Bay were going back and forth, and he was like keeping up with Chris Bay,
Hmm.
which is like no small feat.
Oh, okay.
um, so yeah, like just kind of get to the end of it, like after like there was tons of offense in this match. Like mainly throughout the match was those two beating up on John Skyler and kicking him out of the match, and then Chris Bay and Riley fighting each other. Eventually, at one point, Skyler gets in and he just he beats them both up for a little bit, but you know he gets rolled out, and him and it was like literally the Riley Osborne and Chris Bay show. Those two were just going at it the whole time. But at the end, Riley takes the pin from um no, not Riley. John Skyler takes the pin from Riley Osborne. Riley Osborne hits a badass shooting star press off the top.
Hmm.
Uh, to end the match. So yeah, it was damn good. And I even put this on my notes. They sent the right person this time. Because like, yeah, Riley Osborne's good. He's damn good.
I didn't get to watch Impact. So I'm actually, while you're talking, I'm actually gonna take the time to kind of watch the show, because as longtime listeners know, you can't see the show, but we can. Um,
We,
yeah. I noticed that his entrance was like short, like he
yep.
didn't take a long time to come out to the ring like Dante Chen did.
Yeah.
He
No,
just,
he didn't spotlight himself.
yeah, you could tell. We looked him up right before the podcast. It looks like he's been wrestling since like 2014, I think I said. Like that's like for a while. So he's been wrestling almost 10 years. He is he knows what he's doing, and I'm actually kind of happy that he won and he's in the Ultimate X. I'll take that.
Yeah, yeah. And he's good. He fits it. Like you see the match and like you see him go, it's like, oh, okay, this guy actually fits this style. He can actually go and keep up with the guys and do what's needed.
Yep.
So yeah, it was good. It was a good match.
At the end, that's all you really need. Like we talked bad about Dante Chen last week, but I mean it was valid because he didn't look right in the ring.
Yeah. Oh, well, with Dante Chin, I saw a few more things like a couple of his other matches, and he's just horrible. Like he is not good. Like his matches, because he had matches outside of WWE, and I've seen some of them.
Mm-hmm.
They're equally as bad. Like,
Oh, okay.
oh, yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I don't think he's that good.
Well, I mean, not everyone's good at everything. I get it.
Yeah, let's get it by somehow. But whatever. Yeah, but yeah. Overall, yeah, this match was really good. Riley Osborne took it with Shooting Star at the end, and he's in the Ultimate X now. Um, so right after this, Nick Nemeth, it was a little segment with Nick Nemeth. Um, he drove up in his Lamborghini, got out, and he was just pretty much talking about how he didn't like the current Josh Alexander because he beat up Ryan Nemeth. He's like he doesn't care now. Like all bets are off since he beat up his family, and he's like he wants to carry the next generation of TNA superstars, which is the generation that's currently coming up. He wants to take them to the next level. So he's going to be a fighting champion and showcase the title around the world. And the first person he's going to be, one of the first people he's going to beat is Josh Alexander while doing it. So
Hmm.
it's setting, this was just setting up the match for later on. Um, I think that might be a note for later, but like there is a certain point where he says a little thing that he used to say in WWE, and I was like, oh no, he's bringing back Ziggler. So he said one of his catchphrases from before. So
Oh no.
I was like, oh Jesus, don't do that. Don't just stop.
Oh no.
So like well, immediately after this, there was show Santino in the ring, and he calls out Matt Cardona. He calls Matt Cardona to get into the ring, and pretty much it was Santino going over what happened the last few weeks, his confrontation with PCO. He was pissed at Cardona fucked up the wedding. So there was one part of the promo where Santino fucked up, and he just went with it. He just kept going. So he's like, um, so he was gonna say like he was telling Matt Cardona, he's like, oh, based on your actions, I could get you prostituted. He's like, no, I mean prosecuted.
Oh.
And the crowd was yelling prostitutes to go to jail and stuff like that. He just kept going. He just went with it. It was the shit was hilarious. And Tino's so damn good. Um, but he gives Matt Carter. He's like, okay, if you sign this contract though, then we can. And then I'll let you. I won't get you prosecuted or anything. And Matt Cardona takes a contract. He's like, okay, I'll review it with my lawyers and I'll bring it back. We all know damn well Matt Cardona is going to fuck up that contract
Oh, for sure.
and have like some clause in that contract about where he's either fighting Santino or something like that first. And the other funny thing too is Santino always called PCO Pico. So he's like, yeah, you're gonna I want you to sign the contract to fight Pico. I'm like, Pico. I
That's
just kept thinking of the food Pico de Gallo. I'm like, why are you calling Pico?
that's Santino. Santino, hey, he has never been able to pronounce a lot of people's names consistently. So Santino, 20
Yeah,
years.
he's great. But yeah, that was a good segment. And there was a part backstage, like right after this, there was another segment backstage, and Kazarian's talking about not getting his shot at the title, and he's pissed about that still. And then Eric Young comes up to Kazarian and is like, "Yo, last time I had a title shot, you cost me the title." So they were starting to get into it, and then Steve Macklin pops up, and he's like, "Oh," he's basically calling both of them bitches.
That's Macklin,
he's
all right.
like, he's like, why are you guys bitching about it? You guys lost your balls or something? Why don't you guys go and get your title shots? And like immediately after that, it shows like a little promo package of Macklin talking about his next target. And pretty much the reason why he showed up when Eric Young and Kazarian were talking is his next target is Eric Young. So He's gonna be going after Eric Young now and start to beat the crap out of him.
Uh oh. Wait,
Sorry, Eli.
wasn't so? Wait, so EY isn't doing anything with Hammerstone yet? Because didn't they have like a thing last week?
He has a thing with everybody. Like Eli,
Oh,
he has a thing with Hammerstone. He has a thing with fucking Macklin now, or like Macklin has a thing with him. So it's like EY has a thing with Hammerstone and Kazarian. Macklin has a thing against EY. So it's like multiple things going on at once.
oh, I like that. Okay, all right.
Okay, and now to the next match. It was Tasha Steelz and Giselle Shaw. Um, so to lead up to this match, like Tasha Steelz was winning by like cheating like every time. So last week when they called for to get another match, there Santino came in and was like, "Yo, I'm gonna put referees all around the ring so you can't cheat." And that was pretty much the thing. Like Tasha Steelz would try to cheat during this match, and the ref will catch her. Like at one point, oh, go ahead.
Santino's messed up for doing that. Why? Like, let Tasha do what she's gonna do. She's winning. Why is Santino being a dick about this? Whatever. It's fine.
So, like at one point, like Tasha Steelz pulls out like a wrench and was about to hit Giselle Shaw with it, and then the ref takes it from her.
Boo.
And then it was pretty much a theme throughout the whole match. And then eventually, Tasha Steelz was like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna wrestle." And she, they were both like going at it for quite a bit, but it ended up something weird happened though, like because I was watching the actual broadcast,
Mm-hmm.
the like so a move hit, and then it went to a really long commercial, and then it came back, and then Giselle Shaw, it was literally the end of the match. Like Giselle Shaw, like just did a knee and knocked Tasha Steelz out, and then goes for the win.
Oh.
I was like, oh, that's weird, but it might be like a TV broadcast thing. I don't know. That's like it was weird how it cut like that because it was like commercial, and then it cut in the show for like a second, and then it did a commercial again. I'm like, oh, what the fuck is this?
Wait, that definitely
And
like
then
a
it was
TV
like the end
thing.
of the match. Yeah.
That's weird.
But there was a scary spot on here, dude. Like Giselle Shaw, she does one of those, one of the ones where like she takes the wrestler and she flips him and then she does the knee.
Uh huh.
Well, she flipped Tasha Steelz and Tasha Steelz fell flat on her head. She didn't land on her feet.
Ooh.
And like luckily she didn't land all like really fucked up or anything, but it was like I was like, "Oh shit, that could have went bad."
I hope Tasha's all right. Like that
Yeah,
that that does happen sometimes. Like is shitty as it is.
yeah.
That's wrestling. It happens sometimes.
Yeah. But overall, decent match. It was a good match. It was enjoyable. And both women did their thing. So like, the impact, the knockouts always do. So I'm hardly disappointed watching a knockouts match.
I I wasn't a fan of Giselle Shaw early. Like I think I saw her first during the pandemic at some point. I think that's when she showed up, I believe. Like
Yeah.
2021, something like that. I didn't think that she could wrestle that well at that point. Like I wasn't a fan. She was like the quintessential diva at that point too. I was like, whatever. Um
Yeah.
I've gotten to watch a couple of matches recently. She's really improved.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's mainly because she does the thing like you're supposed to do, right?
What?
Get in the ring and wrestle.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're right.
That concept that no, I'm not getting into that. But
Oh, we'll be talking about her pretty extensively when we get to AEW.
yeah, there's multiple people I could put under that category. But yeah,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
she, every time you see Giselle Shaw, she's in the ring, right? Like she's in the ring, doing the work, getting better every week. So yeah, she's good now. She's really good, and she didn't like. she wasn't only like in the ring with just like enhancement talent or anything like that. She's always in the ring with top tier people. So you can only go up from there.
Yeah.
you know,
So big ups. I enjoy. We kind of talked about. Oh, I just saw the spot.
yeah,
Oh God. Okay, it wasn't as bad. Like it
yeah.
wasn't as bad, but it still was not
It could have
great.
been worse.
Yeah, it could have been a lot worse. She kind of rotated enough to where she landed on like the kind of side of her head, so she got her head and her shoulder and her arm, so it wasn't all like just neck taking the impact.
Yeah.
So I still not great, but hey, she's going. She's not wrestling anymore. Oh, okay,
No,
she kicked out. Okay, we're good.
yeah, she, she finishes the match and stuff, but she probably got dinged for a second.
Yeah. All right, that was a good one. All right, I like that.
Yeah. So next up, the system comes out to the ring, and you already know what's happening.
The
You
boys
already
here,
know. You already know who gets the mic first.
as he should.
No, 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 not him.
Oh, oh, Master Heater.
Yep, Alicia Edwards. She got the mic, and you know what happens. That crowd immediately started going nuts and going and booing. Like it's like the best like start off. Like I think they have like the best start of like any like segment in like in ring segment live, right? Like when she takes the mic, it's an instant like the crowd gets heated immediately.
Like that Don Callis
So
shit.
yep, it's great. It's a great formula. And so like a little bit before that, before the match started, the system beat the shit out of Santana backstage.
Mm-hmm.
So they were pretty much making sure he didn't make it to the match. But so like fast forward to the system getting into the ring and Alicia Edwards, she was talking on the mic and she was like, "Well, it looks like Santana isn't medically cleared, so it sounds like Moose has the night off." And Moose is like, "Oh, me, I got the night off. Oh, that's great." And then Santana's music hits, and Santana being hurt and shit, he comes out and he tries to take on Moose in the system, and Moose is just beating the hell out of him the whole match. He batters him, man. Like
Mm.
there's some points where Santana was getting the upper hand, but you know every time like the system would either interrupt or Moose would just like get gain control back and just beat the crap out of him. Eventually, like Moose in the system as a whole, it was like too much for Santana, and Santana loses. And at the end, the system are about to beat the hell out of Santana again. And then, of course, Joe Hendry comes out. He comes out with a chair. The system clears the ring. And Joe Hendry gets on the mic and says, "Yo, there's other people that don't like you too, the system." So he announces like that next week, Moose and JDC are going to fight the Hardys. Like, oh God. Like my notes were like, yikes, if they can get in the ring. Like, so but the everything up to that point was good. Up to the even the end part, I have no complaints about it. The whole segment as overall was really good. Hey, the Moose is a star. He's the man.
Yeah, he is. Always has been.
um yeah, like um and him and Santana were doing work. They were doing good stuff. I want to see them. I want to see them continue this feud, Moose and Santana, because I think it's really good. And I think it's good for Santana, just like getting back into focusing on singles competition and stuff. I think he's a damn good wrestler, on his own.
Yeah. As much as I miss him and Ortiz, like
Yeah,
I do wish that they could get along and figure it out, because I still want to see them as tag team champions somewhere, anywhere. It's definitely not gonna happen now, but Santana's always been really good. Like My first time seeing him was in AEW. I didn't see him anywhere before that, really. Um, Fantastic wrestler. So I'm happy he's doing his thing.
Yeah, yeah, same here. Let's see. So right after that, we have the next Ultimate X qualifier,
Mm-hmm.
which was Ace Austin versus Jason Hotch, which is the other guy from the Good Hands, that tag team,
Okay.
and Rich Swann. So this match was, if I had to rank them like one, two, three, this would be number three.
This is
This was also a really damn good match.
okay.
Um, so Rich, like they all get to the ring, and well, Top Dollar comes out with oh shit. AJ Francis comes to the ring with Rich Swann, and he goes to commentary.
You know, maybe
And
I won't watch this episode then. I think I'm good.
oh no, like it's good. Like
Okay.
even the match is damn good. So he's on commentary. Of course, the dynamic between him and Rich Swann is actually pretty hilarious. Like once you start watching them do their, actually do their thing. Um, Rich Swann is a beast.
Yeah, he is.
Like he is so damn good. Like when he was like him and Ace Austin and like actually all three of those guys were just they were just doing good shit all throughout this match. This match was like high flying, lots of action, just like the other Ultimate X match. But okay, match starts. They're all getting into it. Rich Swann is showcasing why he's still one of the best. Um, and like as they're going through, everybody got the chance to highlight themselves. They all got a chance in the spotlight. But towards I would say like the middle-ish end of the match, Ace Austin like he literally throws Rich Swann into Top Dollar
Oh.
because like him and Top Dollar are like Rich Swann and Top Dollar were like taunting. So Ace Austin comes up and just tosses him on the Top Dollar. Top Dollar gets pissed off and gets off the mic, and while Rich Swann is in the ring with Jason Hodge, Top Dollar sneaks up because like Ice Austin was about to hit a move on the apron. Top Dollar gets up, takes him off the apron, and then he picks him up and then slams him on the on the edge of the ring. And then Ace Austin falls out, and they were him and Rich Swann were about to like beat up Ace Austin more, and Chris Bay comes out, immediately bolts to the ring, does a flying, like, flies over the top rope, knocking everybody down. Ace Austin rolls into the ring, and then Jason Hodge. Well, no, he rolls into the ring. Jason Hodge is still down from when he got attacked earlier. Um, and Ace Austin is like in the corner. He's getting ready to hit his finish. And the other guy from Good Hands from the last match, he comes down, grabs Ace Austin's leg so he can't do anything. Jason Hodge rolls him up like pretzel style, rolls his ass up and pins him. And Jason Hodge wins the Ultimate X match.
Oh damn. Um,
Only the person I didn't expect.
yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I figured that Ace Austin wasn't gonna take it because I'm
Yeah,
guessing they're gonna do something for the tag teams because Chris Bay wasn't in there. I definitely thought it was gonna be Rich Swann. Is to each his own. All right.
yeah, it's gonna be. I think it's probably gonna be Rich Swann and Top Dollar versus, um, ABC, because like during that, while they were in the match, Top Dollar was talking about, how they, the only team that luckily beat them was the ABC for the tag titles. So it sounded like they're setting up to run that.
All right. I'll take that. That's at
But
that
yeah,
should be at Emergence in a couple weeks.
probably they'll probably announce that soon. But both matches, both of those X Division qualifier matches, they were great. They were good, damn good.
I'm happy to hear that. We were talking about it last week. I guess only one of them we weren't really. Well, I won't say we that I wasn't really that big of a fan of was the one with podcast staple Dante Chen. But other than that one, it feels like all these have been like pretty well received. I think they were really good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, they've all been great. So yeah, that spot right there is insane.
Ooh. Oh.
And for you guys not that can't see this, there was a spot where
Here, I got you.
Ace
I'm
Austin,
rewind a little bit so you can see it again.
so Ace Austin super kicks Jason Hodge, and at the same time, after Jason Hodge gets super kicked, he gets poison rotted.
That looked kind of clean too, because he just kind of the super kick looked like it like made him fall back, it right
Yep.
into the poison rana, and then after that, Ace was like, "I ain't done," and he just basically, I don't even know what that is. It's not a curb stomp. I don't know exactly what that was, but he just
Yeah.
uses his like ankles and just stomps Chris Bay's face, or not Chris Bay, Rich Swan's face into the mat. It was pretty good.
Yeah, it was damn good. It was a lot of that. So, okay, next up, I didn't expect this to be the main event, but it was well, the this one to last very long, but damn, it was a 30-minute fucking gauntlet
Uh,
between. Oh, go ahead.
oh no, I just said
Between Josh Alexander and Nick Nemeth. Man, that was a good match.
All right. I'm gonna need you to
Oh,
break this one. I need you to break this down piece by piece so I can watch the whole match while we're sitting here. I'm kidding. You don't have to. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
oh, I didn't take like that one. I just like straight up watched, and I was watching and I forgot to take notes. So,
Hey, it's all good. Wrestling's good. It happens.
um, so just overall, like the match was good. They were trading moves back and forth. Like there's one point in the beginning where Josh Alexander and Nick Nemeth, they were like going back and forth, doing like almost like a technical wrestling match between the two. And like I was like, oh, wait, Nick Nemeth got those? Okay. Um, but yeah, they were like going back and forth. It started slow and then it just started going and then it sped up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And eventually there was towards the end of the match, Nick Nemeth hits his finish and is pinning Josh Alexander and the time runs out. And so like the match was a 30-minute draw. And Nick Nemeth gets back up. He's like, "Come on, I have him down. Give me 5 more minutes, and I can beat him." And the ref, of course, has to confirm with Josh Alexander to see, "Hey, do you want to do 5 more minutes?" Josh Alexander rolls out the ring, right?
Dastardly.
So Nick Nemeth runs after him and gets Josh Alexander, throws him back in the ring. Nemeth rolls in the ring, and Josh Alexander kicks him in the nuts, and he goes, "Hey, I want 5 more minutes. Let's get 5 more minutes, guys." Like sarcastically, and then just rolls out of the ring and walks out. So this leads to what was announced, I think, a few days ago. At Emergence, it's going to be a 1 hour Iron Man match between
Ooh.
Josh Alexander.
Ooh.
So
Okay.
yeah, it's going to be good. Yeah, overall, once again, TNA is good. I enjoyed the show. Like all the matches were decent, all the segments were good. So yeah. Oh, there's one last segment. Matt Cardona does sign the contract and give it back to Santino, but he's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll sign the contract right here. I need you to sign too." Santino stupidly signs it. We don't know what's on the contract yet, but Santino's like, "Oh yeah, Santino 2, Matt Cardona 0." But Matt Cardona kept going, Yeah, we're gonna do good business together. Yeah, we're gonna do good work together. Yeah, yeah. See you later. See you in the ring next week. Which means I think Matt Cardona rewrote the thing, and him and Santino are fighting next week.
Oh, that idiot.
So Santino fucked up.
Santino, no, you're gonna die.
Matt Cardona's gonna kill you, dude.
Yeah, man. Well, all right. That's it.
Yeah. So that was Impact, man. Impact was good. It wasn't. It's still the same amount of time. It seemed shorter, but it wasn't.
It's probably that 30-minute match at the end because what the last couple of shows that I've watched, I think the main event has been like max 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Not bad. All right, that's I need to watch the show. This show seems like it was really good.
Yeah, it was a good show. Overall, good show.
We got another good show that we need to move on to.
Okay. And if you listen to the podcast at all, even you even listen to week one, you know we're always going to end with AEW.
Yes, sir.
And yeah, this week's Dynamite was good, just like they're still on that streak.
Actually, before we get into it, I
Yeah.
let's talk about the change that we're gonna do this week to see how that works.
Yeah. Let's do that.
So, what we're gonna be doing this week is instead of breaking up the show between Dynamite, Rampage, and Collision, we're gonna break it up by, I guess, segment is probably would be the best way to say it. So
Yeah.
if there is a match on Dynamite and it leads to a segment on Rampage or Collision, instead of waiting till Rampage and Collision to talk about that segment, we'll just bring it up here. You'll get a really good example once we get into it because the first one is going to start that. And if you guys like this, let us know. If you don't like it, so you want us to go back to the old way, let us know. Any feedback would be really good on this. We're trying to figure this whole thing out.
Yeah. Yeah. Gonna try some new stuff.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Like this. Yeah, this week's show is good, but yeah, we'll get into it. Let's get into AEW right now.
Yes, do it.
Okay, on Dynamite, I gotta say, two like two of my favorites are going at it. Mercedes Moné. So the opening match is for the TBS Championship. Mercedes Moné versus Hikaru Shida.
Mm.
Two of my favorites.
Mm.
This match was damn good. This match could have easily been a pay-per-view match. Like,
oh yeah, it could have. It could have very easily been a pay-per-view match, Prophet. You're right.
oh no. We're gonna get into this in a little bit. We'll wait until the end,
Mm-hmm. I'll wait.
and then, because I know you fired up right now. I need you to calm down.
I'm relaxed. I'm good. I'm chilling.
Okay, you're at 15. I need you at about a 5 or 6 right now.
All right. I'm here. I'm good.
Okay. So this match starts out. There's a very quick exchange to begin with. Like Sheeta is like coming out every week, and she's coming out more and more aggressive than she normally is, and progressively every week she's getting even more aggressive. So she started out super aggressive in the beginning. And another thing too is like Mercedes now is like anytime she hits a move or like has somebody down for a second, she is playing up to the crowd, like pissing them off. And like, one of the first things she did when she got Sheeta down the first time was did the CEO dance. And after coming out on top from a few moves. But there was a ton of back and forth. These girls were hitting each other. They were doing everything, man. Whenever Sheeta tried to get the upper hand, though, Camille was there to stop her momentum. That was kind of the story of the match. Sheeta would start getting it, start running full steam ahead, start, getting some momentum. Camille would be there to stop it. And then Mercedes would get the momentum back. There's one point where Sheeta rolls out the ring and hits Camille with the kendo stick. Mercedes takes the kendo stick from Sheeta and then like distracts the ref, acting like she's gonna hit Sheeta with it. And then Camille runs up and nails Sheeta with a big boot. This
Cam-
is at the like pretty much the end of the match.
Camille has
And
like one of the prettiest big boots I think I've ever seen. She's really good
yeah,
at throwing that out, bro.
yeah, man. She throws it out like Kevin Nash,
Yeah, she
believe it or
does.
runs into fucking boots people. Actually, you remember? No, actually, you know what actually really reminds me of? Test.
Yeah, man, rest in peace, Test, bro. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
yeah. Rest in peace, Test. Yeah, that's what it reminded me. He had like one of the best fucking big boots, man.
I used to just drill through people, bro. Like
Yeah,
his big boot was legitimately a finisher. Like it was so good.
yeah. It was dope. Um. So after that, she pretty much knocks out Sheeta, and Mercedes pulls Sheeta in the ring and hits the moneymaker for the win. Overall, between those two, damn good match. Damn good match.
So good. It was so good.
Okay, Lionel, now you can turn up to 15.
Oh, let's talk about the segment right after this. Then we'll hit Collision.
So, what happens after the match? At the end of the match, Britt Baker's music plays. And, of course, they're looking at the ramp, and Camille is like ready to like beat up Britt Baker if she sees him. Camille goes to the side, sees somebody wearing that same mask she wore last week, pulls the fan out, starts beating up the fan. Didn't look like this was supposed to take so long, take a long time, but Camille had to. Britt Baker took so fucking long getting to the ring
Mm-hmm.
on purpose. Let's just put it out there. Shit was on purpose.
On
She was
purpose.
supposed to run to the ring, not walk. You know, she that Camille had to extend the beat down on the person on the outside because she kept looking back like, why isn't she here yet? Right?
Mm-hmm.
And Britt Baker gets onto the fucking ring post, when she's behind Mercedes. Mercedes is like, oh my God, you finally here? Like, she turns around. Britt Baker is taking her fucking sweet time putting her glove on and then goes into the ring, does the worst fucking kick I've ever seen to Mercedes, and then is like trying to get Mercedes in the lockjaw, but wouldn't let go. Like, because what was supposed to happen was she was going to try to get Mercedes in the lockjaw. Camille pulls her out, right? Well, guess who like is like holding on to like show like, oh, I'm going to put the lockjaw on and stuff like that. Britt was literally holding on to Mercedes, not letting her get pulled out of the ring.
So
And then
stupid.
eventually it was like, Camille just pushed her aside and like pulled Mercedes out the ring. Um, and, it was just that end segment, like, is a good way to ruin a great match.
Ugh. But before we get into this, I'm gonna talk about the Collision side of this. So on Collision, Britt Baker had a match against Harley Cameron. Uh, I just to state this, Harley Cameron has been wrestling since 2021. So
Yeah.
she hasn't been wrestling that long. Britt Baker has been wrestling since 2015. I looked it up to make sure. So Britt hasn't almost 10 years. Harley Cameron closer to 5. Um, yeah, we still have the thing on here. So we're actually watching Britt like look at the camera and all this shit, bro. Okay, let me get back to Collision. Uh, Harley Cameron, Britt Baker. The match ends with Britt Baker doing a sling blade and a curb stomp. Uh, in a match that was carried by Harley Cameron. I know I'm gonna sound mean saying this, and we're gonna be talking a lot about this as we go. But Britt just did not look great in this match. Like being the person who is the elder, the person who's been doing wrestling a lot more, she should have been carrying the match, but Britt looked lost at some places. It just Britt had another really bad kick in this match also. It just didn't look great. The segment after this ended up being pretty good though. Mercedes came out with Camille. So Britt tried to find like a kendo stick. She picked one up and she tried to hit Camille with it while she's coming down the apron. Camille catches it, waits a second, which I think I low-key think she took a little bit of time for this on purpose because of what happened on Dynamite. She looked at Britt, is just kind of staring down at her for like solid like 30 seconds to a minute, then breaks the kendo stick, and then Britt's like, okay, she gets up to try to fight. Doesn't work. Then Camille hits that beautiful big boot on Britt. And, you know, at this point, Britt would be selling. I don't think she was selling. I think Camille just kicked the shit out of her and kicked her head off because Britt looked kind of loopy. so. Oh, what? Go ahead. What's that?
It's probably a receipt, man.
Probably. Oh God, because it was rough. Camille ends up picking up Britt, throwing her in the ring, and her and Mercedes end up standing over Britt, and that ends the segment, and that ends what happened in the story this week between Britt and Mercedes.
Okay.
Your thoughts before I go into this tirade?
So, one, I think, man. So wait. So I'm gonna start with this. Harley Cameron's actually pretty good.
Bro, she is.
She's actually pretty good. So it's gonna go back to something we've been saying a while. You know, Britt doesn't match up to like even the middle of the card. So, but yeah, like, man, like, what can I say? Like, Britt's not good. She does not match this new women's division.
Not at all.
She's like, she's not at that level. Not at all. It's pretty much a thing where she's either going to have to dedicate herself or step back.
Mm-hmm. Like we talked about last week.
Yeah, it's like, because you're going up against people, you're going in the ring against people that are dedicating themselves to this. This is their passion. This is their thing. This is your hobby. Like, so get out of here.
There's literally no reason for the Collision side. There's no reason for Harley Cameron to be carrying the match with Britt. No reason.
Yeah.
And that's not a slight on Harley Cameron. I'm not saying that's a slight at all. But as the veteran, in my opinion, I don't know how wrestling works. Obviously, I've never professionally wrestled in my life. But as a veteran, the veteran should be working with the person who is younger than them just to make sure this match goes well. And Britt looked lost a lot of this match.
Yeah.
Which contradicts what happened with Mercedes and Sheeta. That match was fantastic.
Yeah.
Like, there should be some kind of middle. There should be some kind of like even ground. And there isn't. Right now, Mercedes is operating at a level very close to where she was when she was at the height of WWE. Mercedes is probably the best that she's ever looked right now. On the mic, in the ring, everything is fantastic right now. Britt, and I know that she's been gone for 10 months. Like, I understand that she was sick, and I understand that she had a lot of stuff going up for her, and she still has to get into ring shape. Right now, she looks pretty similar, damn near the same to where she was before she left. Britt hasn't improved.
Yeah, and I feel like if she was getting back into the ring, like, she needs to be on everything to get back into ring shape, man. Like, this isn't the first match she looked lost in. When she was trying to go with Sheeta, she was lost there.
God, that match with Sheeta, bro. Like, because Sheeta is also one of the best, again, I'm not going to put women's in there, one of the best wrestlers on the planet. Sheeta is fantastic. And it is really weird that I've never seen Sheeta have a bad match. That match with Britt was closest to a bad match as possible because Britt, not only was that her first match back, she looked lost there too. And that's not new. She's looked lost before.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Like it's not new. um, so I just hope, at All In, Mercedes just comes out uninjured. That's all. That's all I'm hoping for. Like, let her get through the match not injured because she's trying to carry Britt Baker.
This match shouldn't be the match at All In. It just
No,
shouldn't.
no, it shouldn't. Not at all. Like Britt needs. Okay, well, even giving the benefit of the doubt, right? She just came back.
Mm-hmm.
She needs to be in the ring like every week, working up to it.
Yeah.
Not just it's not like she's coming back like full form. She's not. One, she's not. And if that's full form, then she's like worse than she was before, right? Like
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like maybe I'm seeing things completely wrong here, but again, compare her to the rest of the women in the division, and she doesn't even match. She doesn't even come close to them.
We talked about on this podcast before. Remember, I've brought this point up now a couple times. There was a week where you were running down the roster. We didn't get through everybody, but we got through a solid top tier and a solid tiers. I don't want to use tiers. A solid main event scene and a solid mid card scene.
Yes,
We went through a decent amount of those wrestlers. We couldn't think of one person that Britt was better than in the ring.
not at all.
Not
And
one.
there's been people that like, at one point in time they were like, they were still learning, but again, they were in the learning stage, right? Like a Julia Hart.
Mm-hmm.
She was in the learning stage in the beginning, and now she's great. But she's gonna, how she's coming back. She's doing the right thing. She's gonna go into Ring of Honor for a little bit, get her stuff back, and then she's gonna come back to the main card.
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna get those matches in like she did before when Dark was still a thing. Who would you see constantly every week on Dark? You would see Julia Hart, Red Velvet, um, Anna Jay,
Willow was there for a while too.
Willow. You would see Chris Stat, Athena.
You want
All
to?
those people I just named
Mm-hmm.
are fucking fantastic. Oh shit! Even legit Layla Hirsch before she got hurt,
Yeah.
she was on there every week. Like there was people getting their reps in. Who wasn't there getting their reps in?
Good old Britt Baker, the good old doctor.
Britt Baker, Jade Cargill. Oh yeah, I'm gonna talk. Yeah, I
Oh,
don't mind saying
oh
Jade Cargill.
no, that one hurts.
I know it hurts, but
You're not wrong. I know, but it hurts.
I like Jade too, right? Like I like Jade Cargill, but I know she wasn't getting her reps in, and then later on decides to talk shit about not getting training. Well, part of your training is getting the reps in, and you weren't doing that. You were just waiting till TV.
Yeah, they had to
Sorry,
make you look really good and give you a bunch of squash matches for a while. Like that didn't help her at all. But
right?
it's
She should have been
partially her fault
grinding,
too. Yeah.
right? Grinding on Dark, doing the Dustin Rhodes training camp, something, right?
But realistically, Jade was using AEW to get into WWE. That's at the end of the day, we can say what we want. That's how it is. That's what happened.
Oh
Jade
yeah,
used AEW to get into WWE.
well, now she's sitting the bench, but
Yeah.
that's here. Um, uh, but yeah, like just overall, I think I think Britain just needs to get better.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't stack up to this current roster. And then the people coming back, she doesn't stack up to any of them, right?
Exactly.
Like we're gonna get Jamie Hayter back soon. She's not even close to Jamie Hayter, right? Jamie Hayter could have came back, did the same match with Sheeta, and it would be one of the best matches of the night.
Yeah, easily.
you know? So yeah, no.
The reason I went to 15, and then we can move on because it is what it is. But the reason I went to 15 is because we could have had so many other women wrestle against Mercedes in her first All In match. So many other ones. We could have. I'm not gonna list them out, but the one that really got me is we could have had Sheeta. It could have been Sheeta and Mercedes at Wembley Stadium. We could have got that, but instead we have to sit here and deal with Britt, and just like I said last week, great. I'm very happy that she's able to do two things. She's being able to live both of her worlds. That she's able to live both her dreams.
Yeah.
She cannot be given big spots at this point. If you want this women's division to flourish, like it's on right now. For us, I put Dynamite back on so we can just talk and go through this. Britt, this is stupid. This is really dumb. Like, it just, and Mercedes had to sit there and watch her do this, and it just, I'm happy Mercedes is a professional. If this was like and I'm not saying that she's not a professional. If this was like Thunder Rosa or like someone else, probably wouldn't be this nice. Mercedes being way nicer than she should be here. Like, this is ridiculous. After this, once Britt proves that she cannot be a mainstay in this division anymore, if she wants to wrestle, fine. But Britt should actually be in the Saraya spot with Saraya, where Saraya is kind of doing her thing on Rampage, sometimes getting matches on Dynamite and things like that, but nowhere near titles. Britt needs to be there. We don't need this anymore. We need to move on from Britt. She's not high class. She's not any kind of class for this women's division. And if you want this division to improve, she needs to move out of the way. Straight up.
Yep. Yeah, 100%. I totally agree. I think, yeah, like she needs to, like I've been, just been saying and preaching. She needs to get the reps in
And
in order to actually keep up with this division, right? Like
mm-hmm.
you can't rely on just talking anymore. You actually got to be able to wrestle now, right? You can't just be a face image. You got to be a wrestler. You got to wrestle.
I can go on the tirade about her talking also, but I won't.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying that's what she got over on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is talking and then having the crowd say DMD, whatever, right? Um, Her wrestling is just terrible in a stacked women's division full of women that can go.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like, before where you can just half-ass get away with it. No, all these women can go. And we've seen for the past 10 months with her gone, division doesn't need her. Let's just be real about that. The division does not need her in there.
Not at all, bro. You're right.
So, and actually, the division would probably be better without her. Hate to say it, hate to be that guy, but I'm going to be that guy. I don't care.
Man, look, facts are facts. Look, the reason why we are the best podcast on the planet is because we are not afraid to say our opinion, even if that opinion is not popular. I have a very unpopular opinion about the Bryan Danielson build that we're going to talk about later. But yeah, right now, Britt just isn't it. She cannot do this. And like you said, hopefully Mercedes can get through All In. Let's move on. Let's just don't recycle this match. We don't need to have this a feud. We don't need this longer than All In. Just let it go.
Yep. Okay. I think we can move to the next one.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
There was some things I was observing though
Oh, go ahead.
between the good part of the segment, which was Sheeta and Mercedes.
Mm-hmm.
My main observation is Sheeta's finally broken through, and is getting more over with the crowd, like more of these like past few weeks after she cut that promo. After she's been cutting those promos in English, it's been really helping her out. Like I've noticed the crowd's like really getting behind her now.
Once she called herself the ace of the division, I was like, Sheeta, I agree. Ace,
Yes,
you are the division. Please save us.
you are the yes. I'm not going to disagree with you.
Yeah, I know. We harped a lot on Britt Baker, but there was we definitely did not talk enough about how good Mercedes and Sheeta was. Match was fantastic.
Yeah, the match was fantastic. Um, but yeah, and so okay, so immediately, like right after this match, and they probably had to take time for Britt to get out the ring. Uh, they were backstage with Renee, and Renee was starting to talk to Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal. And Jeff Jarrett said a few things, and before Jay Lethal could talk, a wild hangman appears and starts beating up everybody. um, he attacks Lethal first, like throws him, and then starts attacking Jarrett. Gets Jarrett out the way, and then he takes Lethal, and then him and Lethal are fighting all the way from backstage to the ring. Um, and so in the ring, like when they finally get to the ring, Lethal knocks Hangman outside the ring and does 5 tope suicidas in a row.
It was so good.
So it's like back to back to back. He just kept going, like in a row. Shit was awesome. But like after that, Hangman took control, and he was battering Jay Lethal this whole match, man. Like every time Jay Lethal would try to get would look like he's about to get some offense in, about to get in, Hangman would be like, nope, and start beating the shit out of him again. Um, there was a lot of fighting on the outside. One of the things I want to note though is like Hangman did a move that I only seen in Fire Pro, and it was awesome. So there's a move called the Water Wheel Suplex, and Hangman did that. He tried to pin Jay Lethal with it. Even my notes are like, whoa, wait, wow. I've only seen that move in Fire Pro. Like nobody does this move, and Hangman did it. It's like a video game character.
Oh, really? Has no one else? That's actually crazy.
Yeah, there's that one suplex where it looked like he was about to do the fallaway slam.
Mm-hmm.
He turned it into like a suplex. It's called, I'm pretty sure it's called the Water Wheel Suplex. Hangman Page does it in this match.
You're right. You're right. I don't think I've ever seen anyone actually do that. You're right.
And the only place I've ever seen that is in Fire Pro.
Base Fire Pro.
And he did it in this match. I was like, oh shit. He actually did it. Because I thought he was just gonna do a fallaway slam, but no, he actually did the pin and everything. I was like, oh, well fuck.
Hangman was just playing Fire Pro right before this, and then he went up to Lethal. Was like, "Hey, Lethal, I got an idea."
He showed him this move right here. This was
Yeah.
like, let's do it. They got their copy with Kenny Omega on the front. They're like, yeah, let's go.
I think Hangman was in that game too, right? I think he was. No, was he?
No,
He wasn't. You're right.
But you can make them. You can make them. You can totally make them.
Yeah, you can make everyone in that game. That game's fantastic.
Because shout out to Fire Pro Wrestling. So okay, so like right after that, Lethal starts getting a good comeback. He gets like a series of pins. Like they go back and forth on pins. Like he would roll up Hangman, get the 2 count. Hangman would roll him up, and they would go back and forth. Eventually, Lethal gets up out of one of the pinning combinations, does the lethal combination, and gets a big near fall. Um, and then Lethal then like runs up, tries to do another kind of like sunset flip type deal.
Mm-hmm.
But as he flips over, Hangman catches him and then does the fucking dead eye. He reverses it into a dead eye. Oh no. So he did the dead eye first. The Hangman, he tries to do the dead eye. I'm sorry. And Lethal reverses the dead eye and then tries to do a figure four. Hangman eye gouges Lethal, and then he lets go, and then after they try to roll up, Hangman does this big ass discus clothesline and then hits the buckshot lariat and does the win.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Hangman is just a man possessed.
What a damn match.
Yeah, it was a damn good match.
So now where do you think we go from here? Because I think Lethal, or not Lethal, I think Jarrett and Hangman are still gonna be doing this thing probably through the Casino Gauntlet at Wembley. Because you know for sure Hangman's in it, and I'm pretty sure Jarrett's gonna be in it also.
I think they have a match at Wembley.
It's not if they do, it's not announced yet.
Okay. Because I thought they announced it for no. Well, yeah, they might be in the Casino Gauntlet then. Because I thought for sure they announced a match.
Here, I can get the current All In card. We can probably break that down a little bit later too.
Yeah.
All In. Let's see. All right, we have the I have the card up here. Jarrett and Hangman aren't on it. I can go through it super quick. Actually, no, we can do it later. We can talk about it later.
Okay, yeah.
But they're gonna be there. As in some way, shape, or form, they're gonna be on the card.
Oh yeah, of course. That's money on the table.
Exactly.
Let's see. So right after this, there's a bunch of stuff that happened after this. I couldn't find any videos of, but so they start showing the highlights of MJF versus Michael Aku over the weekend. And right after that, it was a huge big video package of MJF and Ospreay. Just the hype leading up to All In. And damn, it was a damn good package, man. They're really doing a world title style package for this feud.
As they should, honestly, because it's no matter what I've said about MJF, it's two world class talents. All of your title matches should always feel big. They also did on Collision. They did another vignette about the Tiger Driver 91. So that was cool, where they showed Masawa hitting it, and they kind of showed the history of the move and why Ospreay doesn't want to hit it anymore. Because Ospreay and MJF weren't at the shows this week, which I think is really good. I give them a little bit of a break, but they still did a really good job, pushing the story forward. Like those video packages that they did throughout the shows, A+, top notch.
Oh yeah, very top notch. Yeah. So I was the whole story, just long term is just it's all about Ospreay hesitating to hit the Tiger Driver 91.
Mm-hmm.
And at all those times, if he hits the Tiger Driver 91, it's over. He wins. But every time he hesitated, he's lost every time. And the story once again is there's somebody else willing to hit it to win. And MJF is pretty much yeah, I'm going to hit you with the Tiger Driver 91 and I'm going to win. You're going to hesitate. I'm going to hit it. I'm going to win. So, it's going to be does Ospreay finally crack and hit it? Does he throw caution to the wind and finally hit the Tiger Driver 91 and win his title back? Or is he going to lose because he's being stubborn and not hitting it?
See,
and not one.
I think that's the interesting thing about the Tiger Driver, because at first Ospreay really was only using it on people that he hated, like because he wasn't using it a lot. Like the first time I think he broke it out was against Kenny at in AEW actually. I think he's used it like once or twice before here and there, but really the first time he's really hit it was against Kenny, and it killed Kenny. It didn't kill Kenny, but it was over. Ospreay won the IWGP US title because of it. But then when he got to AEW, he did it a couple of times in like New Japan also, but really when he got to New Japan, that's when it started getting like really weird. Or not New Japan. When he got into AEW, it started getting really weird because he hit on Takeshita for honestly kind of like no reason but to just do it. Kill Takeshita. Then he was so excited to wrestle Bryan Danielson that he basically killed Bryan Danielson with the Tiger Driver.
Danielson was out for weeks.
But it's just the things are there. I don't know if Ospreay hates MJF as much as he hated Kenny. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it's close. But Ospreay's gonna have to hit the Tiger Driver to beat him. Like you can hit a Stormbreaker, whatever, but you're gonna have to hit him with the Tiger Driver to set up the Stormbreaker. I don't think you're gonna have a choice.
Yeah, he's got no choice. He's got to take him out.
Mm-hmm.
Because if he doesn't, MJF is just gonna hit it on him.
That match is gonna be really good at Wembley. Really good. I still fully expect Ospreay to take the win, but they've done a really good job. I think it was really nice to not have them here this week. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but the video packages did more than enough to continue the story. I don't think they have to do anything more with this. I don't think they have to do a final face-off on Dynamite next week. They probably will, but I don't think they have to. They've done a really good job laying the groundwork for the story.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. Yeah, it's damn good, and those video packages are getting better, man. Like every week.
We've talked about it. There's a lot of video packages they put through here. There's gonna be a couple that I ignore because I am not a fan of the people that were in them. But like every video package they did was very good and was not wasteful. Like it did what it did. Some of them caught you up to stories. Some of them expanded stories. Great.
Yep. Like there's, I think within like these next God damn, I think it's like the next 4 things I'm going to talk about are all video packages.
I think so. Yeah.
So right after this, there is a segment about the man the world forgot. I didn't forget you. Everybody else did.
Who are you talking about?
God damn it. I'm talking about
Hashtag what about Pac?
What about
Yeah.
So Pac comes up and, yes, he is pissed about not getting his international title shot at or the American Championship at Wembley Stadium that Ospreay just he's pretty much said Ospreay went and politicked his way to go over his head and get the title shot.
Yeah.
But he was like, okay, that's fine. I'm going to let you sit here and wait. And 2 weeks after, in Chicago, where I won the title for the first time, I get the winner of MJF and Ospreay. And there's nothing you can do about it.
Tony Khan, I know you're listening to this podcast because some of the things that we've talked about have been happening on TV. For the love of God, if you don't give me Ospreay versus Pac at All Out, I will do nothing about it, but I will be very upset.
That needs to happen. That's gonna blow the roof off, man. Like Ospreay versus Pac is, oh man, that's a hell of a match.
As much as I would enjoy this in Wembley, and as much as I've been making fun of Pac about being forgotten in this story, I'm happy they brought it up. I'm guessing Pac is gonna be in the Casino Gauntlet because this Casino Gauntlet needs to last like 45 minutes and get a lot of people in it, because there are a lot of people that should be on this card that are not currently.
Yeah, it's kind of like that New Japan Battle Royal, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
they just like, hey, you're not on the card, all right, you're in the Battle Royal.
Yep.
So yeah, so we didn't forget about you, Pac. We mention you every week.
even when you're not on TV, you get a shout out
Nope,
here.
you get a shout out here. But you know what? There's somebody I forgot to shout out
Say him. Say his name. Go ahead and do it. I'm ready for it.
after after the because he's on the group with Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett over the weekend. Big Sat,
My boy.
Big Satnam Singh has won his first title, and with Jinder Mahal,
Which is
him
insane, but
him and Jinder Mahal are now the AAA Tag Team Champions.
Congrats, Big Sat. The first of
Congrats,
many
Big Sat.
championships. First of many.
Yep, got to keep the streak going because we mention you every week.
You know, we are very lucky that he's most likely not going to be an all in, because if he was, all the stuff that we talked about, Hangman trying to get Swerve out of the way, because Big Sat would be in the Casino Gauntlet and Big Sat would do the goddamn thing, and Big motherfucking Sat would be our AEW World Champion by the end of the year.
Oh, easy, easy.
They're lucky he's doing his thing in AAA. All I gotta say.
You're lucky he's being a journeyman right now.
He's in the ring getting experience and doing his thing.
Oh, that that thing we talked about earlier, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, crazy how that shit works, huh?
And now he's a champion.
Yeah. There's other crazy things on that AAA card. I ain't even gonna talk about it though, because one of them,
No. No,
no,
look,
yeah,
I don't watch AAA. I'm good. But when Big Sat is there, they got at least two extra people in the audience. That's all I'm gonna say.
yep, at least. Okay, yeah, no, so congrats on the championship first championship win, Big Sad.
Big Sat.
We hope many more come your way.
You know what? While we're here,
Okay, while we're here.
do you think do you think we could see Jinder in Ring of Honor or AEW?
Okay, let's take a little. Let's do a side mission real quick.
Let's do this. That's fine.
I think so because I'm pretty sure Satnam Singh is still part of AEW.
You know who else was at that show, the AAA show?
Who?
Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah, Jeff Jarrett was there. He helped them win.
Yeah. Jeff Jarrett, who has a high position in AEW.
Yeah. So, I could see the AAA Tag Team Champions showing up in AEW.
Man, how? Because I can be honest. Because we are honest on this podcast. I am not a fan of Jinder Mahal
Okay.
at all. But I would be very curious to see how he would work on TV in another place. Be that either AEW, Ring of Honor, TNA, even hell, GCW.
Well,
Not New Japan, but you get my point.
well, shit. That's where he appeared first was GCW.
Did he wrestle in GCW?
Yes.
Oh shit. Oh
That's
shit.
that's the first place he went.
I'm gonna have to sit there and watch that match. I wanna see how Jinder is outside of WWE. I am extremely curious.
I think. Hmm. I don't think it would be bad. Like, I think even like in WWE, he's always been a solid guy. Like he's been like kind of like in the middle, like down the middle, right? I
Yeah.
think he he can adapt enough to other styles. It's not like he's stuck with like, you know, only wrestling one style. I think he can adapt to other styles, which is kind of evident because he's wrestling in fucking AAA, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can't really like have one style and go to AAA and be, you know, get a title. Like they'd be like, "Oh man, you suck. Get out of here." So I think he's good enough to adapt to other styles and still make everything, not any make stuff look like shit. So I think he'd be good.
I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to watch this because he's going. He's still going by the Maharaja. I don't know how to say his name, so I am not going to try to butcher that. I will eventually try to say it. But yeah, it looks like he's done some interviews. He's a champion. He's been wrestling. So good on you. I am always a fan of people who bet on themselves, including people who leave AEW to go somewhere else to try to bet on themselves, like a Santana. Like I am all for people moving around and trying to figure out where they belong in wrestling. So good on you, Maharaja.
Yeah, go on. Like I think I think he's now being able to do what he wanted to do. Like a lot of stuff. Like we can talk about this. Like a lot of times, right? We can we can point to one right now. We're going to talk about them later. MXM,
Mm-hmm.
right? They're able to be fully creative of what they want to do, and it's showing. Like that shit is great. What they're doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
A
I'll get.
lot of times, like people just need to leave that system or any system in general,
Yeah,
right? And be able to be more creative or be able to do the thing that they want to do. They have to be able to see out what they're that vision that they're trying to, you know, that they're trying to achieve, right? Like that
exactly.
thing they're trying to achieve. And I think like, especially for we'll just say it like Indian wrestlers, right?
Mm-hmm.
WWE, you know, I'm not trying to shit on WWE right now, but historically, right? WWE treats foreign wrestlers or people of certain descents or and stuff like that like a sideshow, for one,
Mm-hmm.
not to be taken serious, not to be, um, they always have to be this super, what is it? Caricature,
Mm.
right?
Yeah, you're right.
Or just what the hell is that called? I'll think of it like
We'll find it.
later.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just like, yeah, no, like a lot of times you got to get out of that, and that's what he did. And hey, he's been super fucking open about that shit. He's been talking at length about how WWE treats foreign wrestlers,
Mm-hmm.
and you look on screen and you see it. Like, he ain't wrong.
I mean, we can go down a list of people recently, right? Mustafa Ali is definitely one who has come out. Mustafa's been out for a little while, right? He hasn't been WWE for a while. He's talked about how difficult it was back there and things that he wanted to do. Like that's another really good example.
Yeah,
Mansoor from MXM. We just talked about MXM.
yeah,
Also has been very open, along with Mason
yeah,
Madden.
yeah,
They've all been like very open about the difficulties that they've had in WWE. And again, that's not shitting on WWE because what WWE does works for them. But I mean, if culturally, if you're not down with what you're doing, you probably shouldn't do it. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. Like, just for an instance, the one thing Jinder Mahal talks about was the WWE writing a thing where he had to be racist to um what is it Oh my goodness. Why is my brain turning off today?
Because we had to watch a lot of wrestling very shortly to get this
Nakamura.
podcast ready.
To to Nakamura,
Oh
right?
yeah, that's right. That was a
To
thing.
Shinsuke Nakamura. They wanted him to be like super racist to him. And they pretty much told him either you do this or you're fired. That's pretty much the implication.
Mm-hmm.
Do this or you're not on TV ever again. It's pretty much what happened. And unfortunately, he had to do it. And he said he hated it. He did not want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's one of the many things that that happens, and it's not cool. Like these guys should be able to be their own personification of the wrestler that they want to be, like the character they want to be.
Mm-hmm. Because this is
They
wrestling.
don't have to be like if somebody is like for one like Mustafa Ali, they want him to be a terrorist. Who
Mm-hmm.
the fuck thought about that, right? Like, no, that's stupid. That shit like that is just like the stuff they're talking about. So yeah, I'm all for like all the guys just going out and succeeding and not having to do that bullshit.
Mm-hmm. And even if I'm not a fan of some of them, like Nick Nemeth, like I've talked at length about how bad Nick Nemeth has been, at least in AEW or not AEW in New Japan.
Yeah,
He's doing his thing in TNA, and sometimes people just need to find a place where they belong. Sometimes people need to find a place where they can fully flesh out their own creativity. Because at the end of the day, you say whatever you want about wrestling. Wrestling is a very creative outlet. Like you make your character, you make your gear, you concept your gear to get someone to make it. You concept your promos, you concept your matches. Like wrestling is very creative. And if you're stifled in any way or you're doing something that you don't like, there's a reason why a lot of people on WWE don't look as good as they should because they're not doing what they want to do. Like some of the NXT people, they haven't really wrestled before, so they're kind of just doing what WWE tells them, NXT tells them. But a lot of those older people who don't really have control and eventually get it, they are better once they have their control over their characters. And that's just how it is because wrestling's creative.
right. But it works for some people, right? There's other people it doesn't work for, like say for instance Ethan Page.
Oh yeah, you know what? That's funny because I was actually just thinking about him because I was actually gonna give him a shout out because he's actually doing really well in NXT. He fits really well in NXT right now.
Right. When he's not left to his own devices.
Yeah, when he follows the script and does what he's supposed to do, great in NXT.
Yeah, like so he's like the opposite end of the spectrum. Like there's people that are can that are really good at following the script, and there's other people that are like that need to have their own room. They need to be creative on their own.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is why multiple wrestling companies is a good thing.
Yep. Because even if you a good example from someone leaving AEW, Santana. We just talked about him. Santana going to TNA was probably one of the best things he did for his career because he's fantastic in TNA.
Yeah, he's great in TNA.
So like we've talked about it, but it goes every direction. There are people in AEW that need to leave to do their own thing, and that's just how it is. And while you have multiple wrestling companies who make money, all the talent can go where they fit the best, and that's what makes wrestling great. Even us, we don't watch WWE. We are not big fans of WWE. We did the whole experiment. We've confirmed it, but the people over there who are doing good things over there want to be there and they belong there. And that's at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
Yeah, this is true.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, it's great to have multiple companies all thriving. All that the wrestling business is thriving. Don't listen to what other people are saying. All the companies are doing pretty damn well.
Mm-hmm.
And for newsflash, AEW isn't failing, guys.
No, they'll learn about that in a couple weeks though.
Yeah, they'll learn in a few weeks, but they ain't failing my guy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man. Uh, good little side conversation there.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. Okay. So let's get back to this show. So like right after the MJF Osprey package, we had a quick one at Darby Allin. Um, and Darby Allin pretty much goes in on Jack Perry.
Goes in
Like
might be
even
an understatement, bro.
he pretty much was like, "Yo, for the shit you pulled at All In last year, I wish you got fired." It's like pretty much what he said.
God.
One part. I was like, "Damn." But you know, and then Darby Allin, right after that, Darby Allin is about to come to the ring, and right as he's at the ramp, he gets blasted by Jack Perry. And Jack Perry proceeds to beat the shit out of him until they go backstage, goes to the back, and then he, beats up Darby Allin some more, like slams him on a couple of things, like some, what is those rolling cart things,
Mm-hmm.
like the rolling storage units. That's what
Yeah.
they are. And then he beats him up, and then he puts him right under one of those like sliding doors, sliding security doors that go down, and he pretty much hooks it up and to where Darby Allin can't move. He then goes to that one of those storage carts, and he's about to like go full speed and like ram that cart on Darby Allin's head and like take him out, but he gets stopped by security. And as he's getting taken out by security, he's like, "Hey, I want a coffin match against Darby Allin at Wembley. That's what I want. I'm gonna end his career."
Oh God. Oh God.
So we got that.
Let me let me talk about a little bit of Collision because we had some scapegoat Collision things going on. Cause he
Yep.
wrestled.
Yes.
It was Darby Allin versus local talent Danny Orion, which, funny enough, he hailed from DallasSingles.com.
What?
Yeah, bro. Like he was billed from DallasSingles.com, Danny Orion. And then I cracked up. So I decided to look this place up to see if it was even a real website. It's a real website. That is a thing. So he got a lot of wrestling nerds to go look that website up. And if y'all are in Dallas, and if y'all doing y'all thing, outside, you can go there. You can do it's wild. Anyway, this is a very quick match. Jack hit him. I don't know if his running knee has a name. I'm not sure if it does. If it does, I don't know what it is. But Jack hit him with the running knee, pinned him 1, 2, 3, basically killed him. Quick squash. After the match, he goes and gets 2 bags. One is like a title shape bag, and the other one is a body bag. He takes out some spray paints half of Danny Orion's face to look like kind of Darby, and then throws him and the TNT title in the body bag and zips it up. Only to unveil, this is the first time this has happened in a while also, a new TNT title. And for those that don't know, TNT champions back in the day used to have their own custom titles. And that was one of the nicest things about the TNT title. It just got customized all the time. This one is just spray painted black, which is a good reminder that Jack Perry is in New Japan's House of Torture, because House of Torture did that to the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship and the Never Openweight Championship when they were fighting for them.
Huh. Okay.
And that's it. That's all the Jack Perry Darby Allin stuff.
Nice. That's it's shaping up to be good.
I'm actually kind of excited to watch that match. I don't think there's going to be. Well, that was a lie. I think there's only going to be one semi okay match on the card, but this one I I am scared that they did a coffin match for this because Darby and Jack are both insane.
Yes. Oh no.
So I don't know what they're gonna do to each other. Um, just y'all make sure y'all come back alive because Darby has a world title shot in like a month. So just y'all don't kill each other. That's all I request.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, that might be asking too much to be honest. You're right. You're right.
Yeah, way too much there. Good shit. Oh my god. Yeah, they're gonna kill each other.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So after this, there is a Mariah May video package. And, she's pretty much during the package, she's like burning all the Tony because she used to wear the old Tony Storm gear.
Yeah.
She's pretty much putting it in the thing and burning it. But like some of the things she said was like the worst thing to happen to Tony Storm is living in the same era as me.
Woo.
I was like, damn, okay. And there's one part where she also says, I forgot how it leads into it, but she's like, don't worry, darling. We both are gonna die. I'm just gonna be the one that writes your eulogy. I'm like, whoa. That's some shit.
Those two fucking hate each other.
Oh, like, damn, that is some cold shit to say. So that rivalry is damn good.
Mm-hmm.
Classic. And some of the stuff they say to each other, especially like Mariah May, some of her lines of what she's saying are, wow, they're really fucking good.
Like I said, they we've talked about this before. They cannot be in the same place together. And like when one of them is on the show, the other one isn't. And that's what I kind of noticed this week. Because every other week they've been on the same show together and they've been kind of beating the shit out of each other, right?
Yeah.
This week on Dynamite, neither Mariah or Tony were there, right?
Uh-huh.
Rampage happens and Tony is there. Just like a little thing with Saraya. We're not going to talk too much about it. Doesn't really matter too much. Then on Collision, Mariah was there, but Tony wasn't, and Mariah beat the shit out of some local talent. London Dior, I think her name was.
Yeah.
So yeah, they literally cannot be in the same room together, like at all, or same building together.
Yeah, it's on site.
Oh, they're gonna go crazy on at All In.
Yep. It's gonna be damn good.
That reminds me. The video after the Mariah May match on Collision, there was a Tony Storm vignette also, where did you see it?
Oh no, I was gonna say like right after that Mariah May one, there was a little thing that popped up with Mina Shirakawa and Renee.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, let's go into that first. You're right. Yeah.
So they got to Mina Shirakawa, and would you know it? She's doing a promo in English.
Oh God, that was this week, huh?
Yeah. And I'm just saying, AEW's there's something AEW's doing that WWE isn't. The Japanese wrestlers for for whichever reason they are making it a thing to learn English and actually try to do all their promos in English in AEW.
We're gonna talk about Okada a little bit later too, and Okada doing the same thing.
Yep, I think it's really cool to see. I'm just trying to say it's a thing. And a certain faction in WWE probably needs to start doing that.
And I know people hate hearing that, but if you're in New Japan, like think of it, the two people who have won a G1 are Kenny Omega and Zack Sabre Jr. They both can speak Japanese.
Yes.
So they were both able to speak to the Japanese crowd at the end of their G1 win. Like,
yeah,
you gotta. I know y'all hate it, but it is what it is. You gotta be able to speak the local tongue, the local language, if you want to be a big star, and that's just how it is. Sorry.
Yep. Because you see right now, like I mentioned earlier, ever since Hikaru Shida like finally got comfortable and started doing it, the fans are going rocking with her a lot more.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. It's true.
So, and Mina Shirakawa, people are already rocking with her, but they're gonna rock with her even more. Especially as she's like gets more comfortable and starts learning more, and it gets more fluent to her.
Mm-hmm.
People are gonna rock with her more. I don't know. I think it's a recipe for success, but who am I to say that, right?
I mean, we have cases in 2 countries where that's just kind of how it is, right? I'm pretty sure if you go to like any indie show, usually the top baby face is going to speak the local language, and the top heel will speak English. So yeah, it's just a thing. You gotta. Some of y'all might hate it, but it's just a fact.
Yeah, it's just a fact. And it's reasons why certain people are stuck, right?
Mm-hmm.
Andrade, Andrade El Idolo. You know why he's stuck? Can't speak English very well, or he like most of the times he doesn't. He doesn't even try. He literally needs a mouthpiece.
You talk about WWE Speed Champion Andrade Andrade El Idolo. That's who he is now.
Yeah, that guy.
WWE Speed Champion.
The guy that gets a million views on Twitter.
Not even a million.
But yeah, no, I'm just saying, he didn't speak very much in AEW. And he didn't have a mouthpiece. He can wrestle. He can wrestle his ass off.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a reason why, like, his prime time, his best time was when he had Selena Vega in NXT. Because he didn't have to talk. She talked for him.
Yep. True.
She did all the talking, right? All he had to do was go out and do his thing. But when it came to him being on his own, he couldn't talk. Right? Like, even Roosh is actually like making the attempts to try to like speak more. Like, I'm just pointing this out here.
Yeah, Roosh had a promo on Collision, and he spoke English to Don Callis. Yep.
Yeah, am I wrong here?
No, I mean, like I said, people might hate that fact, but facts are facts. Like, you got to be able to speak the local language. Like, you're on American TV. Sure, you can win championships. Sure, you can do your thing, right? But realistically, unless you're in like places that speak that language, you got to be able to connect to the audience that is speaking whatever language of the country you're in. That's just how it is.
Yeah, like say like you get a program with MJF. How are you gonna talk back to him?
I mean, that's what happened with Roosh, right? Like MJF and Roosh had that little program, and what happened to Roosh? Roosh got what chanted in AEW? Like, I mean, granted, that crowd sucked, but that still proves the point.
Yeah. So that's just a point I wanted to bring up.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was great. She was just talking about how both of them are crazy, pretty much.
Yeah.
she hopes they don't kill each other in the ring.
On Collision, we had after the Mariah May match, we had a a promo segment, not promo segment, a video package with Tony Storm, a movie called The Final Gift, where basically Tony Storm like got out of her like black her all black gear that she was been wearing, like the funeral gear, and she went back to how she was. Like her hair's done again, like she's back in like the bra and all that kind of stuff, and she said that she's ready to give Wembley a show. And Mariah May was very angry about that and beat up London Dior with the shoe.
Oh God.
Yep. We've talked at length about how fantastic this is. This is still my favorite build going into All In. They're just hitting every single home run. They're knocking out every single nail. RJ City, bro, good shit.
Yeah, like damn good.
RJ City, they need to be using you as a writer for stories going forward. Because if this is how you are writing stories, RJ City, my boy, be ready to be a lead writer because you're going to have to write fucking everything.
Yeah, man. Oh man, yeah. So let's see. Our next matchup on Dynamite was Orange Cassidy versus Kyle O'Reilly versus Roddy Strong. For the Casino Gauntlet. It's a Casino Gauntlet qualifier match.
It was
so whoever wins.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead. The winner gets to be number 1 in the gauntlet.
Yes. And hot damn, this was a good match.
Mm-hmm.
Like right off it was kind of similar to the one of the X Division matches, but like it was like O'Reilly and Orange Cassidy, they jumped Roddy Strong in the beginning and like tossed him out the ring. And then they started like periodically going at it, and then Roddy would like break it up. It was a damn good match. It was a great match. Roddy Strong, that dude's the man.
He's so good.
He's so damn good. Like, actually, everybody in that ring is so fucking good. They're all damn good. So this match was a great match. It had a little bit of everything, but it pretty much ends up with oh yeah, look, so at one point in time, all three of them put each other in a submission. Think about that.
Mm-hmm.
All three of them put each other in a submission
mm-hmm.
at the same time, and they wouldn't tap, so they all let go. The match ends with Orange Cassidy rolling up Kyle O'Reilly. And, at the end, Kyle O'Reilly's upset, he raises Orange Cassidy's hand, but I kind of hope it doesn't happen, but I kind of feel like Kyle might eventually turn and go with the Undisputed Era. But who knows?
Do you know why I think you're right?
Why is that?
Did you watch Collision? Or not Collision. Did you watch Rampage?
I did not.
So the conglomeration had a match. And Kyle O'Reilly was on commentary.
Uh-huh.
So the commentators asked Kyle O'Reilly like what the dynamic is in the conglomeration, right? First off, he said the word of the day is cohesiveness from Mark Briscoe, the cult leader. he was saying cohesiveness is how he was saying it. But the point I was making is he said that let's see, Orange Cassidy is the brains, Mark Briscoe is the bronze, Ishii is the hot one. He called himself the wild card. And then said Willow's the one who drives a van, so Willow's like the mom. But the point I was making is Kyle called himself the wild card.
Oh no.
Yep. So I think you're onto something. I'm pretty sure. I'm like 99% sure. At some point soon, cough cough, all in. We are going to see the conglomeration split up because Ishii's going to be gone. It's not really going to work. Is the first two members were Mark Briscoe and Kyle O'Reilly. So if they're gone, that's it.
Yeah.
Plus Ishii's going back to Japan, so it's easy just to break it up, and Kyle gets to be with the Undisputed Kingdom.
Yeah. Well, I think it's hilarious that he did a Sunny. Have you ever watched the show It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
I have not the whole show, but I've watched like at least 9 seasons.
Yeah, same here. So that thing he said, it was from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yep. I saw that, like, basically all he was doing on commentary was like doing like references. Apparently he did like 2 Simpsons references also.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just a thing.
Yep. So if he starts yelling, "Wild card, whoa!" and starts running around.
That's how he's going to be as a heel. He's just going to be the wild card, woo! And just go.
Yeah. Oh, man. I love that show.
It's a good show.
Let's see. But yeah, like, so the end of, like, overall, that match, damn good. Like, those three, those three together, they work damn well together.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really good. But they've also been working with each other for like the past like 5 weeks.
It's been a fantastic like little build to what they've been doing.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the end of that one. So the next one up, Okada and Claudio with Renee. And pretty much Claudio at the beginning of it is talking about how he every time he's like tried to go for that Continental title, he came up short. And that this time when he goes for that championship, that he's gonna win. The boy Okada had to retort. He's like, "Oh, allow me to retort." He's like, "I am the 4-time G1 winner."
Yes, he was. Yes, he is.
I am the current Continental Champion. I'm the champ now, and I will stay the champ until the next Continental Classic happens. And even then, I'm still going to be the champ. I'm like, okay, Okada, damn.
Wolf called himself the greatest tournament wrestler of all time, which fucking valid, bro. Like we can't argue it.
You gonna argue with the Rainmaker? You don't argue with he's the GOAT.
The GOAT.
And he lets him know, and then he's like, yeah. Drops the mic, he calls him a bitch and leaves. Short and sweet, but wait a minute. It's kind of my theme of the day. Okada cut that promo in full English. He didn't go in full Japanese and have subtitles.
No, yeah, straight English.
Straight English the whole time. Just saying. And then, so Claudio at the end of it was like, he doesn't want that elite lackey, that silly guy that's, walking around right now. No, he wants a Rainmaker and not the elite lackey guy that we're seeing right now. Claudio, careful what you wish for.
Can we be honest?
What's up?
Fucking Okada definitely has not been doing. He's probably been wrestling at like 40%, maybe.
Yeah. But and Claudio can handle it though. Claudio's the boy.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I'm not sure Okada is going to wrestle at 100%. Look. I love Okada. Love him to death. His 20% is better than like 90% of wrestlers. Full stop.
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna get that 100%. I mean, it would be dope to see him go like all out against Claudio, because we haven't seen him go all out in AEW at all, like at all.
Yeah.
But I don't see it happening. The match is gonna be fantastic. I'm not doubting the match at all, but
Well, it's like Tagoro, right?
exactly.
You only wrestled me at 20%.
He might bulk up to 60 for the match against Claudio.
Claudio might get 60. He might be dead after that.
Because there ain't that many. He might go 100. Like whenever him and Ospreay do something, if they do something, he'll go 100% there. But I don't know. I mean, he's wrestled Claudio before. What was it? It was like a 6-man tag, right? It was God, it was Claudio, Moxley, and I think Yuta versus Okada and 2 other people from Chaos. I don't remember. The match happened like last year. That was a good one. Oh, it was Okada, Ishii, and Tanahashi. Six man tag team titles. That's what it was.
Oh shit! Yeah. Okay.
So I can see Okada going like pretty hard against Claudio for sure, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens.
Yeah, either way, I can't wait. Next week, Cardiff, that show's gonna be lit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like, and then right after the segment, the patriarchy appears. And at one point, Christian takes the mic from Renee and's like, "Hey, hopefully you were a better mother than you are on interviewing somebody." He's like, "Hopefully you're a better mother than what you are as an interviewer." He's like, "Nah, you're probably bad at that too." And I'm like, "Whoa, holy shit, Christian!"
They're lucky Moxley ain't around right now. Moxley taking his little vacation.
Like, you want to die?
Yeah, calm that shit down.
You better take that down. You're gonna be dead next week. It's like, what's John Moxley doing here? He's just gonna beat his ass.
John Moxley can come in with a tan because he's been on the beach. And beat the shit out of Christian.
Yep. So, he's pretty. It was pretty much him talking about how he's like, "Hey, I called it down the middle last week, and they just didn't get the job done." The Bang Bang Gang and the House of Black.
Yep.
So, called it down the middle. They didn't get the job done. So, and then I think it got announced that the match is going to be. So it's going to be House of Black, the Patriarchy, Bull Club Gold, and then a mystery trio scene.
Mm-hmm. That happened on Collision. What it was after they did like a video package, like basically breaking down what happened between the Bang Bang Gang, Patriarchy, and House of Black.
Yeah,
Christopher Daniels, I guess he's watching the vignette, and then he gets the camera on him and says, "What he basically says what you said. The only thing is that the mystery team will be decided on, I believe, Collision, and it's going to be 2 teams that are going to be wrestling against each other to get in the spot. We don't know who the 2 teams are yet.
Okay.
And the match at All In will be a London's Ladder match.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Which that's just going to be crazy.
That's ridiculous.
We're getting 100% Aleister Black now. Yeah, that shit's going to be nuts,
bro. Like I said, we shot him out a couple times now. He's on one right now, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, he's been doing his thing, man. It's been great. Yeah. So yeah, with the Okada and Claudio, the Patriarchy segment. I think we have a lead into Claudio going against Leo Rush over the weekend.
Yeah, it happened on Collision. There's not really a lot to talk about there. They just kind of had a match. basically, I didn't make any notes for this because it was like 8-10 minutes. It wasn't too long. The note that I said was this seems like it was back and forth, but really Leo got his ass kicked for this entire match because he did. He got
Yeah.
Claudio did the giant swing on him like 3 times. At one point, Leo was outside and he tried to go back over the barricade, and fucking Claudio threw him like 20 feet outside, like not 20, it was like 5, but launched him into the crowd. Like it just, Leo got his ass beat. And Leo's the one who he wanted the match. Leo was like, I'm fired up from what happened with MXM and Top Flight. I want a match. Claudio accepted, and Claudio beat the shit out of him. That's all that was.
The wrong guy you want to accept a match.
Yeah, he was so happy about MXM or so happy about Top Flight, what happened on Rampage, that he made a mistake. Real bad mistake.
Yeah. Awful mistake. Oh man. Okay. Yeah, that's good. So on Dynamite, the next segment after that was Tony Schiavone was in the ring, and he calls out Hook. And Hook, he pretty much he comes in the ring, he cuts a promo about like he's telling Jericho, yo, the problem with you only taking one this eye is that I have one good eye left. So I got one good eye left, and I'm gonna use it, and I can still take you out with one eye. Um, and he calls out Jericho, and he's like, "Hey, I want my title back." And of course, all the learning tree comes out. Hi guys,
Mm.
and it's pretty much Jericho was like, "Okay, yeah, I'll agree to the match, but if you lose this match at Wembley, you can never challenge for the FTW title while I hold it, and you'll be out of the Jericho vortex forever." And next week he'll have to have a match with Big Bill.
Mm.
And like right after this, Hook ends with an old Jericho line, and he says, after the match at Wembley, he will never, ever be the same again.
Woo!
I was like, oh, that's a good callback.
What can I say about Hook?
Just go ahead.
That boy cannot speak.
Nope.
I felt the passion. Like he has the passion for damn sure. Can't talk. Can't talk at all.
Yeah. That's it's something that can be fixed in like going to ROH.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if he will, but definitely got to work on it. And you know how I already feel about Jericho. I'm not going to talk about that. I will talk about, though, he had like a little promo segment on Collision where he basically hyped up this match at All In, and I guess it was either announced there or it was announced on Dynamite. But at some point, it's going to be Jericho and Dynamite Kid Tommy Billington for Dynamite next week.
Yeah. The newly signed Dynamite Kid.
Mm-hmm.
So that should be a good match.
Yeah.
But it's going to end with Hook coming in and Hook and Shibata coming in and saving the day.
Oh, for sure. Because Dynamite Kid is going to get beat up.
Okay. So the next thing on here is...
Oh, Lord.
Oh, it's time.
Oh, Lord.
The AEW Tag Team title match between the Young Bucks and the Acclaimed. Now, how this match started, the Young Bucks were coming to the ring, and the Acclaimed just immediately rushed them and attacked them on, while they're coming down
Mm-hmm.
at the entrance. And pretty much it was one of those things where they fought all the way to the ring. Um, and then the match weirdly got officially started when not all people were in the ring, but it's neither here nor there. It was kind of a weird thing that happened. Um, there was there was some back and forth. Like a majority of this match was Bowens getting his ass kicked by the EVPs
Yep.
until Bowens got the hot tag to Caster. Caster clears the ring, get some offense on the Bucks. If Bucks turn it around, eventually get the upper hand. Not to mention, like earlier, Billy Gunn comes out, and the Bucks like get him kicked out of the get him kicked out immediately. They're like, nope, you can't be here. Get him out of here.
That shit was so smart too because they set up Billy Gunn to get booted. It was genius.
Yep. So that happened earlier. So the Bucks are like, they're fighting. The Bucks eventually get the upper hand, and at one point they're all in the corner, and the ref is trying to break up something, and the ref gets knocked out, and the EVPs are about to hit the Acclaimed. I think it was with the title or something. It was either the title or suitcase. I think it was one of their titles. They're about to hit the Acclaim with the titles, or I think Max Caster. And FTR comes out and interrupts and starts fighting the Bucks. And the Acclaim get DQ'd, and the Bucks win the match. It's pretty much costed the Acclaim their title match.
Which we called on here. We called that this was, I mean, it was a DQ, so I guess the Young Bucks won, but realistically,
yeah,
this is a no DQ finish, or this is a DQ finish.
A DQ finish with the Bucks winning.
Yeah, so no one really won.
So right after that, Christopher Daniels, of course, jumping in. He's like, okay, so we're gonna find out who's going to go to All In next week. It's going to be FTR versus the Acclaimed at Cardiff. Whoever wins goes to All In. And that's where we are with that stacked Cardiff card.
Oh no, that the FTR Acclaim match happened on Collision.
Oh, it happened on Collision?
Yes, sir.
Oh.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Well, then you can speak on it then.
Man. Match was fantastic. Like straight up.
Yeah.
This was a FTR has very, very detailed ways of doing their matches, and they can make every team look fantastic.
Yes.
Out of the two tag matches, this one was the better one.
Uh-huh.
But it also ended in a 30-minute time limit draw.
Ah, damn it. I knew it.
Yep.
So,
yep.
The thing we called weeks ago.
Mm-hmm. So, after the 30-minute draw, it was announced very quickly because they ran out of time for Collision that it's going to be a three-way, like we called. Young Bucks versus FTR versus the Acclaimed at Wembley.
Oh, okay.
But the match was fantastic. Like, if you haven't got a chance to sit down and watch it, definitely watch it because the match was really good. It's just we called what this was gonna be. It's just the tag team division in AEW right now is not great.
Yeah, and it should be. It should be great.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping like when the Bucks drop the titles, then we can get more, teams in the mix and things like that. So
we have teams. There are a lot of young teams that are really good right now that could benefit from being, against tag team champions a little bit more often.
Yeah, I'm just saying in general, like it would just taking the belts off the Bucks will give more teams in the mix.
Which is really depressing to say because I definitely thought that once the Bucks won the tag team championships, we would be in a position where the tag team division would be going up again. I think we even talked about it, not on the podcast because it happened before the podcast, but we talked about it because I was very excited for the Bucks to have the titles again, and they've done nothing with them at all.
Yeah, well, you get that in a decreased schedule. What do you think's gonna happen?
Yeah, yeah. We definitely need those tag titles off the Bucks. I would prefer they go to FTR. I don't want to see Max Caster as a champion right now at all. So if I have any kind of like anything, I want FTR to win those tag titles because I think they would do them right. People say that FTR kind of messed them up before by keeping them on Collision specifically. In a way, I kind of agree with that, but at the same time, you know, that was when Punk was there. Collision was Punk's show, so they wanted to be with Punk. They've been on Dynamite more often now, so I don't think we would have that problem of the tag titles basically disappearing anymore. We just they definitely need to shake up this tag division because this is one of the weakest matches on the card. The match is going to be fantastic, but does anyone really want this?
Yeah, I don't. I don't know.
Yeah.
Some people probably do, but I think they need to. Yeah, like you're saying, like they need to they need to they need to revise the division. They
Mm-hmm.
need to get back to where they were. They need that spark. Because I think that's like this and the trios division are the only two that are like they're kind of you know,
Yeah.
they're kind of lacking. Whereas like the other divisions are on fire.
And
So
you would think that the tag division with the teams that we have, not even with the Acclaim, not even going to count the Acclaim, but you have a lot of really good teams in AEW. The tag title should not be in this position at all.
no. So yeah, hopefully they get to a better spot, and they just it's maybe you call it like it's a new season. So like they do every time, like usually around after All Out, they usually like do a new season or whatever. So
Yeah, for lack of a better term, this is like their WrestleMania reset. That's kind of what this
yeah,
is.
yeah. So yeah, they for sure need to reset. That was the word I was trying to find earlier.
Yeah. We've harped on these tag titles a lot. I don't think we have to talk more about it.
No, but we're staying consistent.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And finally, for the main event of Dynamite, we had your AEW champion Swerve Strickland
Mm-hmm.
versus Wheeler Yuta. Or like I'd like to call it an execution.
Pretty much. Yuta was a sacrificial lamb.
Because Swerve beat the shit out of him. He mauled him, man. Like
Yeah, he did.
it Swerve like literally dissected him. He was just being vicious the whole match. Swerve turned up super villain to like 11. He's like full on super villain now. So like he got more aggressive. He was targeting Yuta's back. He was doing all kinds of stuff, man. Like he was vicious the whole match. Um and pretty much like the end of this match is Swerve mounts Yuta and just beats him until he KOs him.
Mm-hmm.
He just beat the hell out of him and knocked him out and just kept going. And the match won by KO. Swerve literally won by KO.
All while Danielson was sitting in the crowd watching, just cheering on Wheeler Yuta.
Yeah. And pretty much he takes the mic at the end. He's like, "Hey, that's just an example of what I'm going to do to you at Wembley Stadium in 2 weeks. think he meant 1 week, but yeah,
Yeah, he did.
he's like, I'm going to force you to retire, and that's what I'm going to in and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cripple you. I'm like, damn. Okay, Swerve. And Swerve runs to he goes to the back. So we thought.
Mm-hmm.
Bryan Danielson jumps over the thing and starts trying to help Yuta. Swerve runs back to the ring and hits him with the house call in the back of his head. And he started getting booed, and then he started leading guest chants at the very, very end. I was like, oh, shit.
Super villain.
Like, super villain shit. But we've always said on the show, he's never been the good guy.
Mm-hmm. All y'all thought he was the good guy. Once he got the title, we again, you used the word consistent. We have been saying that Swerve has never been a good guy. He has done good things, but he's also said he's willing to do anything he can to keep his title. Come on.
Right. By good, it's gray.
Yeah.
He's like right in the middle. Like, that's as good as he gets, is like in the middle. He's still bad.
Yep.
So yeah, that ended the show, and that was a great way to end the show. Again, like hyping up the Danielson Swerve match that's going to happen, and just like where Bryan's match, where he was kind of like back and forth with Jarrett in his match. No, this was a one-sided beatdown.
Yeah, it was.
Every time. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, sorry. Go ahead, all you.
Oh, I was gonna say, every time Yuta tried to get like some offense in, Swerve would just reverse and just beat the hell out of him even.
Mm-hmm. Straight up. This is kind of what I want to talk about. Have you seen what people have been saying on the internet about Swerve and Hangman? Or Swerve and Hangman, Jesus Christ. Swerve and Danielson?
No.
People are very upset with this build between almost said Hangman again. Oh my god. Between Danielson and Swerve.
Huh?
Yeah, a lot of people are saying that Danielson isn't bringing like he's not doing anything to help this build at all. He's not like a lot of stuff like that, right? And this is the unpopular opinion that I have about this. And okay. AEW confirmed this on Collision, actually. So before I get into the opinion, on Collision, there was a video package or a promo from Eddie Kingston, of all people.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Eddie Kingston, people were like, oh, is Eddie Kingston come back? No, dummies. His leg exploded. He's going to be gone for at least another 6 months. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Fucking idiots. Anyway, Eddie Kingston was talking about he didn't know who this person was in Danielson. Like, there's no fire, there's no drive, there's no nothing.
Uh-huh.
And this is what people were kind of saying on Wednesday. Like Danielson's doing nothing in this build. He's like, nothing he's doing makes sense. It doesn't seem like he really cares. And I would like to say to the people saying that, AEW is telling you a story, and that is the story. Danielson is at the end of his career.
Yeah. So
Danielson is very retrospective. You know when the last time he was like this? When he was forced to fucking retire in WWE. Can you see that this is a retirement thing? And Danielson is not the whole thing. Danielson has not been focused on Swerve because Danielson's been worried about his retirement. Before this, after he won the Owen, Jeff Jarrett went to him and was like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you acting like you already have one foot out of the door? Before even Danielson said that he wanted this to be a title versus career match. This has been the story that AEW is telling. Danielson right now is focused on his career. Sure, he wants to win the AEW championship. Yes, he said that. He said that before. But he is very retrospective. When he was talking to JR, he was talking about his career and not as much about the title. We talked about it on the podcast too.
Yep.
This is the story that they're telling. Do you like the story? No, you don't have to like the story. but this is the story that they're telling for it. It's not that Danielson's not doing anything. He is being retrospective about his career, which has changed because if you watch the backstage stuff that they did, Danielson was very fired up. Danielson was very pissed off at Swerve for doing what he did to Yuta and hitting the house call. So we're going to see a very fired up Bryan Danielson next week.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually surprised that it went over people's head. Like, I don't know how much more like in your face it can be, right? Like, I guess when you're not being told every 10 minutes what the story is, I guess you don't get it. But the whole story of this is Danielson trying to retire.
Mm-hmm. Danielson said last year that this was his last year, and sure, he might not want to retire, whatever, right? But he still said this is his last full year. We're here. This is what it is.
Yeah, like that's the story that's been it's literally been being told for a year.
And what I don't think people understand also is, do people think Swerve's being an asshole for no reason? Swerve sees what Danielson is doing.
Yeah.
Why would Swerve beat the shit out of Yuta like this? He hasn't done this to anyone but Hangman to get his spot. Swerve is trying to motivate Danielson to get that fire out of him because this makes there's no point for Swerve to beat Danielson if he is not motivated to beat him. Why do you think Swerve's been an asshole like more than he usually is? Like, it's right here. It's right in front of you.
Yeah, he's trying to beat the best Danielson so that he could tell him he's retired. Like once he beats that Danielson, he's beat the best Bryan Danielson can be. And he's retired him at his best.
Thank you. I don't know why no one else is able to see this. I feel like the story is really obvious. Like I don't know how this is going over people's heads. Maybe because you're right. Maybe because they didn't specifically say any of this. But it's all right here.
Well, I won't. All right, I'm just gonna say. I'm gonna go out and say it. Half of those people talking this shit don't watch the show.
Probably.
Like, if you watch the show, you know what the story is. You literally know what the story is. A lot of times when, those people are coming out with it and saying, like, they don't understand the story and stuff like that. When, you ask them, it's like, hey, if you actually watch the show, the answer is probably going to be no. You start asking questions, you start digging, you'll find out they don't watch the show.
Which is stupid. But yeah, the story's right there. If you're hearing this and it clicks for you for the first time, you're welcome. We actually watch the shows. We actually are digging in the stories that AEW tells, and AEW tells some goddamn fantastic stories. And this is one of them. Just because this is not a Bryan Danielson that you're not used to seeing, which, again, Eddie Kingston noted from his house with his exploded leg on Collision.
Yeah.
And if that didn't give you the idea, if that didn't show you what is happening, if Swerve low-key acting out of character, because yes, he is not a good guy, we've said that, but Swerve doesn't do this kind of shit anymore. He hasn't since he's been world champion. Why would he do it? Like, just think.
It's not out of character, though.
It is since he's been world champion, because he's gone far, but he's never gone this far.
Right.
He's done this to Hangman for sure, but over the last 6 months, this has not been Swerve. And like I said, he's not a good guy, but he's playing it up a lot extra right now, which again is part of the story.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, man. Like, I don't know what the, what else, like, yeah, how to, like, give people a story or beat it in their head, but you can't. Just watch the show and pay attention, or, you pay attention, you would know.
Yeah, that's really it. Like, I think the story is really good. The thing that I hate about the story the most is that Danielson might fucking retire. That's the thing I hate the most about this whole thing. But that's part of the story. And again, we've seen this Bryan Danielson before. He wasn't Bryan Danielson. He was Daniel Bryan when he was forced to retire. But we've seen this Danielson before, so it's just, And again, now he's fired up now because he's pissed off at Swerve. Swerve did what he needed to do. It took him a few weeks, but Swerve got Danielson to take him serious. Well, take him seriously might be the wrong word because I don't think Danielson has ever like doubted Swerve. He never has. I don't know what the phrase, but Danielson is now, he's locked in at this point now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's gonna be good. It's gonna be damn good. That's gonna be that's gonna be one of the matches of the night.
Oh, easily. You have literally one of the best wrestlers of all time in Bryan Danielson versus someone who honestly is the AEW champion that AEW has needed in Swerve. Right now, Swerve is the best person to be champion. Swerve is so good. And despite the fact that he hasn't been like seen as a champion consistently, I don't even know if that's the right phrasing to say that, but he has stepped up his game despite anything that has been happening to him over this title reign. Fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, it has been great, man. Like I think Swerve is easily one of the best champions AEW has had.
Mm-hmm.
Easily. And it's not no fluke championship or anything like that. Swerve is the man. Like,
He's really built himself into this guy, and it's fantastic to see.
yep. So yeah, man. Like, uh, I personally like the build to the match. I didn't have any problems like following this build. So, um, I can't wait to see the Impact.
Well, Prophet, it's because you're not an idiot. That's what it is, straight up. You watch the shows, you comprehend the shows, you can get the story out of them, and we can have good conversations about those stories because we watch and we pay attention to the shows.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the problem. People don't pay attention. They don't. Attention span is a motherfucker nowadays.
I think that's why I love New Japan so much because New Japan definitely does not tell you the story. Like if you sit down and watch a New Japan show, which again I think I've said this on the podcast before, my favorite promotion, New Japan. It has been for a long time. It always will be. Even when New Japan was in a slump where they can only clap, I was sitting there watching every show like a fucking crack fiend. But like they don't tell you a lot of the story. You can go get it because they do backstage stuff. But while they're in the ring, there's not a lot of like talking story happening. They do everything in the ring.
Yeah, pretty much, man. Like it's pretty old school in that aspect.
Yeah.
Like the thing of somebody telling you the story the whole time is like it's a WWE thing from like 2000 on. Well, Attitude Era on because Attitude Era they were doing that.
Yeah, that's true.
Not as much, not as handholdy, and not as like hit you over the head with it. They didn't start doing that until the 2000s, but like, it's just people used to that, right? So yeah, it's a whole generation of people like not really watching a wrestling show and putting it on in the background and just listening to it and not watching it. So they're not comprehending what's going on.
Vince McMahon, you will pay for your crimes. Hopefully, actually all of them, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really I guess we can do a really quick rapid fire.
Yeah.
Because there are a couple things left that didn't really have storylines from what we're talking about.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go through them real quick, and I'm actually gonna reorder this because I want to talk about a certain one last. You see the order now.
Yep.
Uh, Hologram wrestled Angelico. This was Collision, by the way. I made a quick note that I am very tired of them saying his name wrong. They keep on saying Angelico. I don't know why they keep on doing that, but his name is Angelico.
Angelico.
Yeah, please. And they said it right at first, but then Nigel said Angelico, and then Tony was like, "Oh, I'm just saying that now," and he said Angelico more, and I was like, "What the fuck, guys? You know his name. His name is Angelico." Anyway, match was really good. This is another one of those matches where Hologram was like semi-grounded. He was still able to fly around a little bit, but very good on the ground because Angelico is very good on the ground also. Just fun match to watch.
Yeah. Captain Collision does it again.
Captain Collision. Next up, the thing that didn't have a story also was a Ring of Honor tag team title match that happened on Collision between Sammy Guevara and Dustin Rhodes as the challengers versus the Undisputed Kingdom, which is Mike Bennett and Matt Taven. I don't know why I keep on messing up their names, but I do. This match was a pretty good match. Without going super hard into the details because it's rapid fire, Dustin and Sammy won the Ring of Honor tag titles on their second time teaming.
Yeah. And so now Dustin Rhodes is the tag team and trio champion in Ring of Honor.
Double champion Dustin Rhodes.
Let's go.
I know people were a little bit upset about this because they're not really not a solid tag team, but I think this was really good to get the Undisputed Kingdom away from Ring of Honor for a little bit because they've been doing so much on AEW now. Dustin has been doing things in Ring of Honor. Sammy just got there last week. I don't think they're going to be holding the tag titles for super long. I do hope that the next champions are the Infantry because I think they deserve it.
Yes.
But I'm happy. I'm happy for this, and I'm really happy for Sammy because we had that little argument about who Hologram was. Oh, I thought it was Sammy, and you thought it was Ricochet. Yeah. One thing we were both wrong on, but
thank God.
Thank God, honestly. But it's good that Sammy is here doing his thing because I think as much of a dickhead as Sammy Guevara is, fantastic wrestler, and I hope he just keeps his head on straight. And I think Dustin's a perfect person to do it with.
And stay far away from Jericho.
Yes.
He needs to be nowhere near him.
He gonna be on Ring of Honor to let him stay on Ring of Honor. Jericho ain't going down there. I think we're good.
Well, here's the thing, right? Did you see like how they're introducing? So that last thing that happened with when they were announcing the All in Texas show.
Mm-hmm.
Ring of Honor is called something different now. Well, it's not. It's still Ring of Honor, right? But it's under AEW now. It's called AEW Ring of Honor.
Oh, I didn't see that.
So when they showed Athena, she's the AEW Ring of Honor Women's Champion.
Oh, that's a mouthful.
So, or she's still the Ring of Honor Women's Champion. But but I think there's something going on, man. I think there's something about to happen with that TV deal, man, because, we could get into talk a little about the little report thing, but like it was pretty much they added Ring of Honor into the report of the like little revenue that they were getting. And it was all the shows, including Ring of Honor. So, and it was a WB report, right?
Ooh, I didn't know that. Okay.
So, maybe with this TV deal coming up, we might be hearing about a Ring of Honor TV show. And AEW, it might be coming on the TV pretty soon here.
I think that's just God, I forgot the word. I think this is a really good thing because of the Arlington shows that they've been doing. Because we talked about it before. I don't even know if we talked about it on the podcast or not. I think we did. Where since they're doing Ring of Honor taping separate in Arlington, like in the esports arena where they've been doing Collision, just a separate day, it seems like Ring of Honor is like being like it's being re-energized. There's a lot of energy right now around Ring of Honor. Like, I don't know if you've been able to watch shows. It's been a busy time, but I was able to watch like one of the Ring of Honor shows pretty recently that in Arlington. That shit is fun now again, man. It feels like old Ring of Honor. It's great.
Good. Yeah. I think the Arlington thing, this is just a start, right? Like, it's the start of, I think more than anything, it was a test. It's like, okay, we're going to do it in these small arenas. We're selling out in the small arena every week.
Twice a week on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, and they're making a huge profit out of it. Like, they're showing the numbers of something crazy, right? So it's like they're making a huge profit out of it. I can see them doing, continuing this. They're just going to find a home venue.
They can do what TNA does. TNA, they do their couple tapings, they do their stuff, and they move on. And they do live pay-per-views when they have to, and they move on.
I think a thing where they go like, so right now I think the summer series was like 6 weeks.
Yeah, something like that.
Every 6 weeks they go to a different small venue. But in hot towns, like where, Texas is they love pro wrestling out there. So it's always like, you bring it out there, it's going to be a hot show, right? Especially if it's a big company. But yeah, just pick a whole bunch of places like that and just cycle between them.
Yeah, that's the hope. They should definitely do that with Collision also. I know we already have talked about, like, that's the assumption, right? But they should definitely do it with Collision and Ring of Honor. Like, make them do their own thing, make them tour. For Ring of Honor specifically, we've talked about the boy. There's someone who's really good at this, and his name is Scott D'Amore. Figure out a way to get him.
No, I think that boat sailed.
Nah, man, it's not over. Figure out a way to do it. Tony Khan, do it.
Oh man, yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah, you're probably right, but the hope, I'm hoping, even if they don't get Scott D'Amore, put someone in charge of just Ring of Honor and let them handle it. Just please, they need to be doing their own touring. You want separate revenue? Do it that way.
Yep. Yeah, man.
And the final thing on our rapid fire is honestly probably one of my favorite things this week. Straight up. On Rampage, the Rampage main event was Top Flight versus MXM Collection. Man, I have a page of notes on this. I'm gonna break this down. I didn't even realize I had a page of notes on this, which is crazy. I didn't even realize this until I looked at it. But I'm gonna break this down really quick. I'm not gonna go through every single thing on here. Main points. Top Flight now has new presentation, which, we kind of talked about on the show that they don't have characters. They have characters now. They are now pilots, which, Top Flight makes sense. As much as I'm not a fan of like the overshirt that they had when they were coming out, I don't think it matters too much. They have characters. Plus, Layla Gray gets to be on TV more often, and that's okay with me. That's all I'm gonna say. They face off against MXM Collection, who is very popular right now. We've talked about them almost every week on the show. They are fantastic, and they are only getting better and better every week. To break down what was going on, Leo Rush was on commentary. Leo Rush didn't really say too much about anything, to be honest. He's not really important. Yeah. I'm going to break down some of my favorite parts of this match, which, again, I don't do this. I never do this. That's how you know I really enjoyed this match. And I'm just going to kind of rapid fire him out. Match started, Dante and Mansoor. Mansoor was doing his poses after he knocked down Dante every single time. After like a minute, Dante was able to ankle trip him from the air. And then Dante did a pose. And I was like, oh, you have a personality. This is crazy. After that, Dante and Darius were able to get Mansoor and Madden out of the ring. Madden is the big black man in MXM. I know we've talked about it, but just for visibility's sake. Layla Gray sits on the apron and she's doing like the air control trafficker thing, where she's like leading Top Flight to do stereo topes on MXM.
Oh shit.
Yeah, fun little thing. It was nice. Uh, Another fun thing that happened is Layla tried to get on the apron to distract Mansoor because he was kind of like doing his thing, and Mansoor was like really into Layla, obvious reasons. On the other side of the ring, uh, Madden gets on the other side of the ring, and he's like, "What are you doing? Like, come on, let's do this." And then he turns to Layla again, and Layla's like showing off, right? And she's kind of like showing off her chest. And Mansoor's like, "Ooh, this is nice." And then he turns around, and Madden is putting his ass out on the ring. And Mansoor's like, "Oh my god!" And he falls to his knees. And I don't know if I should say this, but I'm saying it anyway. I called this the bisexual panic, and that's what Mansoor was having, because he didn't know which way to go at all.
Oh my goodness.
Eventually this leads to Dante getting a super kick on Mansoor because he was very distracted for two very obvious reasons. I guess technically four with what Madden was doing, but neither here nor there. The Top Flight also added a couple of different moves to their arsenal now. They do airplane spins. I don't know if they were doing that before. I don't think they were.
No, they weren't.
They got a double airplane spin on Madden, which was actually kind of cool to see. I'm not gonna break this. I'm not gonna break this down this match completely. There's a lot more spots in here. Definitely, if people haven't watched it, for sure watch it. Top Flight ended up getting the win by hitting Dante hit the crossover splash on Mansoor for the 1-2-3.
Okay.
Fun match, so good.
I am noticing something though.
What you got?
Something we talked about last week about Top Flight.
Yeah. Go ahead, say it again. Say it again for the audience. Go ahead.
Oh, for the audience, I'm just saying it again. The thing that Top Flight needed was somebody to, they needed a mouthpiece. Layla Gray is easily that mouthpiece.
Mm-hmm.
But they have the wrestling. We already knew. Like, they're some of the coolest high flyers out there. They're like some of the best, right?
Yeah.
They needed a personality. And all of a sudden, they got the flight gear. They're actually they got something going on now. They got a personality now.
And they got Leo Rush with them too. And as much as Leo is not as big of a talker also, man has a personality.
Yeah. Well, he can be a talker. Look at when he was with Bobby Lashley, right?
Yeah.
He was the talker.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, the boy can talk.
So,
But he can talk.
Like you said, Top Flight all of a sudden is now showing a lot of personality. I think it also helps that they were with MXM, who just like are such an entertaining team inside and outside of the ring. Like,
yeah,
Jesus Christ. And honestly, this is the most personality Top Flight has ever had. Straight up.
Yeah.
Like, even with some of the moves that they were doing a lot of the same stuff. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, they had the crossover splash that was just on screen. They have the topes and things like that. But it's just the presentation of them doing them now is different. Airplane spin is different. When they come out now, there's like a what is it? Like when you're on the plane and you have the flight attendant doing like a announcement to the plane before it takes off.
Yeah.
That's now at the beginning of their entrance before their music comes on.
Right.
So they have a lot more they've shown more personality in the entrance alone than they have in like the last 4 years.
Yeah, and okay, here's the funny thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Literally, when we said this was about 2 weeks ago. I think it was 2, 3 weeks ago, right?
Yep.
Literally when we called this shit out. We put it out there. Yeah, like, Top Flight rolled a 10 on wrestling and a 1 on fucking talking, right?
Mm-hmm.
And personality. Literally within a week, they changed their gimmick.
Yeah, it's weird how that timed out so well. Because let's be real, they were probably working on this before.
Yeah,
We don't know that. Like we don't see anything that happens in backstage. We are literally just fans.
Yep.
But the fact that we called this on the podcast, and like you said, literally the next week, Layla Gray shows up. And then literally the next week after that, they're wrestling against MXM and they have this new presentation. Like, come on.
Yeah, because I think they started a new presentation in Ring of Honor.
I think so. I don't think Layla Gray was with them yet. But
yeah, they didn't. So they were still in Ring of Honor, and before they got Layla Gray, right?
Mm-hmm.
They weren't doing the pilot thing, right? They weren't dressing up as pilots.
Yeah.
As soon as they got Layla Gray, that's when they changed all their gear and stuff like that.
We still called it.
Yep.
This is why I think I'm pretty sure motherfuckers are listening to this podcast.
Somebody is.
Yeah, somebody is. But man, that's all the wrestling for this week.
Yeah. It's a good show.
We did it.
Again.
3 hours spectacular. But we covered G1. We covered Big Sat. Big Sat. Very important. We covered Impact, a really good Impact show. And we covered everything that happened in 3 AEW shows. That's it's pretty great. But that's all. Prophet, take us home.
All right, guys. Again, thank you for listening to the show. Thank you for sticking with us all this time. Once again, if you like the show, please hit that like button. It helps us out a lot. Comment, give us your comments. Hey, if we see one of your comments on there and we get time at the end of the show, we will for sure take a session and start answering your stuff on the show. And definitely subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Come on. It ain't gonna hurt you. It ain't gonna hurt nobody. So as you guys see, we got our new avatars on the screen. Me being Mr. Big. And we got the boy Balrog,
mm-hmm.
and Lionel. And our fancy new avatars were done by our good friend Justin Moore, or otherwise known as Paladin Claymore. Big shout out to you. Thank you very much. We also have a new thing on the channel too. I'm setting up the banner, but it'll be up there soon. So we're getting the channel, more and more, looking more like a channel now. So very, very big thank you to Moore for hooking us up with these, and yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, these are fantastic. Moore, again, thank you so much for doing this for us, bro. These are amazing.
Yeah, man, these are awesome.
But
oh yeah, go for it, man.
Oh no, that's it. I got nothing else.
Yeah, that's it. Also, like, comment, subscribe, follow back at us. And I know my voice ain't deep at all, so it sounds like shit.
Peace out, y'all.
Later, guys.